The Michigan Wolverines begin their 102nd year in the Big Ten. Conference play is at hand. And after the win over Notre Dame last week, new spirits renewed here in the Big House in front of a sellout crowd. The Wolverines home again. ESPN's College Football on ABC, presented by Best Buy. And a fired-up group of Wolverines here in Ann Arbor, getting set to host the number 10 Nittany Lions of Penn State today. You know, Bob and I decided that we're going to be part of the tailgate, and we got a good crew here. We got a lot of Michigan fans. They're a little bit happier than they were a week ago because of the win over Notre Dame. Obviously, the spirits lifted a little bit. Now comes number 10, Penn State. I don't know if they're the 10th best team in the country or not, even though they're 3-0, Grease.
Well, I think the reason some people may think they're overrated is because the three teams they've played are a combined 1-8. Joe Paterno said last year that this may be the year for his team. Well, we're here now, and the reason they're that big is because of Anthony Morelli at quarterback and the big play wide receivers. They'll have a lot to do with the outcome of this ball game.
Well, it's Big Ten play. It's a whole new season now. Michigan's hanging their hat on that after the win over Notre Dame. Obviously, the spirits around here have been lifted. Paul McGuire is going to spend the day on the field. Let's go in the stadium, and Paul, it's probably been a while since you've been on a college football field.
Bradley, since 1959, I'm down here really to see the intensity of both of these football teams, but also to see Mike Hart, who is averaging 167 yards per game rushing. Can he do this against Penn State? If he can't, can the true freshman Mallet carry this Michigan team? Brad, we know how tough Penn State's defense is.
Paul, you know, the Penn State defense 2 years ago wishes they could have one play back, and we can only hope that we have the same drama we had 2 years ago in this end zone in our game today. 4th down, 1 second left. Michigan trailing by 4. Henny fires to the end zone. Touchdown, Manningham! Michigan wins! A picture-perfect day for a Big Ten opener. It's Michigan and number 10 Penn State here at the Big House. And let's check in with the 4th member of our team, Bonnie Bernstein. Bonnie?
Good afternoon, Brad. Let me tell you this. Every Penn Stater knows this stat. The Lions have lost to Michigan 8 straight times. Now, Anthony Morelli didn't have a chance to change fate in last year's game thanks to a second-half concussion. He told me he's still kind of fuzzy about what happened that day. But what Morelli is crystal clear about is that heartbreaking loss in 2005, that play we just showed you before commercial. Morelli said, I can't even imagine leaving Penn State without beating Michigan at least once. If we don't win today, I may put my head through a wall. Brad, I can guarantee you there's a lot of people watching this game who feel the very same way.
I hope he keeps that helmet on just in case. This is the 13th meeting between these two teams. Obviously, Penn State, a late addition to the Big Ten, the most recent one. We mentioned Michigan's been in the Big Ten for 102 years, and 8 straight, like Bonnie said. 9-3 Michigan leads, and the last 3 have all been close, including that nail-biter 2 years ago that went down to the final second of the ball game. So many times Lloyd Carr takes grief about what he does against Ohio State. Joe Pa takes a little bit of grief about what he does against Michigan. Michigan won the toss and deferred. So Penn State and Anthony Morelli will have the first crack at it. The captain of the offense, number 14. He's had a good season so far. 8 touchdowns, only 1 interception, 63%. He's out of Pittsburgh, and his 17th career start here today. He's coming off his career high, a 4-touchdown performance in the 45-24 win they had over Buffalo last week. But again, because of who they played, and Bob and I talked about this, and we talked with Joe right before the game. Said, okay, Joe, what kind of team you got? And you quoted him from last year. Tell him the story now.
Well, I said, Joe, I said, what time? I was setting him up. I said, Joe, you got a pretty good team this year. He said, yeah, I know, yeah. I said, Joe, wait a minute. I checked my notes. Last year you told me that this year was the year.
A year away.
A year away.
And he said to you, well, we still might be a year away.
You still might be a year away. And they are. They got a lot of guys coming back next year. They just lose their quarterback.
And Lloyd Carr, who talked with us about how much the improvement in practice this week. He said, you know, it's just like a death march when you go out to Monday's practice after losing. And, of course, they lost the first 2 games of the season. Practice was a lot better and a lot more fun this week after the 38-0 romp over Notre Dame a week ago. Brian Wright's got it teed up. Derek Williams and A.J. Wallace wait on the other end, and the Big Ten season for these two teams is underway. A.J. Wallace about 2 yards deep, and he'll bring it out. Wallace got a seam up the middle, and it closed quickly. He got out to about the 21-yard line. And we'll check the starting lineup for the Nittany Lions of Penn State. One of their stars will do it for us, Derek Williams.
Up front, we have A.Q. Shipley, Perry back. In the backfield, we have Austin Scott. And on receivers, we have Deion Butler and myself, Mr. Derek Williams. And quarterback, we have Anthony Morelli, the man.
And those lineups brought to you by Best Buy. And let's see what their best play is to open up the ballgame. 3 wideouts. Derek, obviously, one of them. And Morelli in the shotgun with Austin Scott. Could be a corner blitz coming already. The handoff to Scott, and he has stood up at the line of scrimmage and dropped. He may have lost a half yard. John Thompson made the tackle. Let's check the Best Buy defense for the Michigan Wolverines, and Brandon Engelman does the honors.
Defensive line headed by Terrence Taylor and Tim Jamison. Linebackers led by Sean Crable. And in the defensive backs, we have Jamar Adams and Morgan Trent, returning starters from last year.
And of course the freshman number 6, Donovan Warren, who's getting better week by week. Here's a handoff to the fullback. Matt Hahn doesn't get much, maybe a yard, and it's going to be 3rd down and long for Morelli in the Penn State offense. John Thompson back-to-back tackles. He had a great game last week, including his first career interception, and he is picking up where he left off.
Well, Brad, for those who follow Penn State football, they know that this year Penn State offense, for some reason, has gotten off to slow starts.
Right. They are a good 3rd down team, though. They're 2nd in the Big Ten at 59%. They'll have to earn this one. It's 3rd down and 9. Penalty markers down, and it's going to be 3rd and worse.
Number 76, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Cadogan, the left tackle, jumped, and that's 3rd down and a mile. This is the loudest I've heard this crowd. We've been here 3 weeks in a row.
We've been here a lot over the years, and we've always said that this is not an intimidating place to play, but it is loud here right now.
They're paying back the Penn State folks from a year ago, I think. Morelli in trouble in the pocket. Now out of it and still in trouble. Down he goes, sack number 1. And Penn State's 3 and outs. Will Johnson there. Chris Graham was helping out.
Check the outside receiver. It's double coverage, short and deep. That's where he wanted to go. He got outside to buy some extra time. Only 3 receivers in the pattern. Everybody covered.
Jeremy Boone is going to be standing near his own goal line almost to get rid of this punt. Greg Matthews should have excellent field position on the other end for the Wolverines. This could be returnable. It will be. Matthews on the fly at the 47 into Penn State territory. Got the corner, and he's run out of bounds on the Penn State sideline. But Michigan, boy, what a way to start, huh? Their defense looks sensational, and now they get the football in Penn State territory. And that means that Ryan Mallett, the guy that Pablo talked about in the open, the freshman quarterback, 3 touchdowns. He only had 7 completions last week. But hey, if 3 of them are good enough for touchdowns, that's not bad. All 6'7", 252 pounds of him.
You remember where the first possession for Mallett in the offense started last week? It was on the positive plus 43-yard line, Notre Dame side of the field. So again, very good field position for Mallett and the offense.
43 last week, the 42 this week of Penn State's. Fullback Mundros in there with Mike Hart, the tailback. And it'll be Hart off that left side, as it always is, it seems, but not much doing. It's going to be tough sledding for Mike Hart and the Michigan offense, and Mike sets it for us.
First on the stop for Penn State.
Starting up front with the best offensive lineman in the country, left tackle Jake Long. Next to him, his best friend, AK-47. Out at receivers, we have the man, Mario Manningham. And starting at quarterback, freshman, Ryan Rachel Mallett.
Best Buy starting lineups. Mike does a little bit of everything. Carries the ball, does the lineups, captain of the team.
He can do
leads
it all.
the Big Ten in rushing.
There you go.
2 tight ends set this time, and it's Hart again. And again, that swarming Penn State defense keeps him bottled up pretty well. The best buy defense for the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Here's their sensational linebacker, Dan Connor.
On the defensive line, coming off the edge, we have Josh Gaines. Linebacker, we have the two Pittsburgh boys, Sean Lee and Tyrell Sales. Back at safety, we've got Anthony Scarrato. And our cover corner is Justin King.
I don't know where the Buffalo Bills are playing this weekend, but Posluszny's probably watching, and I don't want him to hear me say this, but this guy's as good as the guy that won the Butkus Award last year, in my opinion. No offense, Paul.
I agree with him.
3rd down and 5. Michigan trying to take advantage of their defensive stand and the punt return. And now they may have called a timeout before the snap. They did. Wolverines take a timeout. They'll have a 3rd down and a big 5 after they talk to Coach Carr on the sideline. Michigan 49% on their 3rd down conversions. Called a timeout with a 3rd and 5. Maybe didn't have the right alignment out there for the freshman Ryan Mallett. Right now he's got 3 wide receivers and drops to throw for the first time, and down he goes. Dan Connor, the linebacker, came around the corner. Loss of 5, and Michigan's going to have to give it right back.
It's going to seem to be the MO for Penn State. Connor's up here. Go to blitz. They always like to send 5 guys, 1 linebacker. They drop a defensive zone blitz to the top of the screen, and Connor gets there. Play the run on 1st and 2nd down, and blitz the young quarterback on 3rd.
Connor got him low, and then Sales cleaned up, so they'll share that sack. And here's the punt from Mesko, high in the air. And Michigan had a guy there, but he didn't realize the ball was that close, and it makes it to the end zone for the touchback. So Penn State gets it back. They'll have it at their own 20-yard line, and some of their fans down in that end zone will get a good look when we come back. The Cottage Inn has the distinction of being the first restaurant in Ann Arbor to serve pizza. The restaurant offers a diverse menu of Italian and Greek dishes. Go over there and see our man Lorenzo. Morelli would like that. Anthony Morelli in the Penn State offense at the 20-yard line in the shotgun, and 4 wideouts, including Norwood, who trots out farther to the top of your screen. Blitz. Morelli goes down. Ball is out. Michigan's got it at the 10-yard line. Chris Graham, the linebacker. Brandon Graham. It was a Graham cracker that time. One Graham got him. The other one scooped it up.
The quarterback, when you go to scramble and run, you got to pull the ball in and not fumble it. Don't leave it away from your body. Michigan was unfortunate they didn't pick this ball up and run it in. But the quarterbacks, when you're scrambling around, there's enemies in the pocket. Pull that ball in and put it away.
Paul was right in front of that fumble recovery at the 10-yard line. Almost got run over had they headed to the end zone. 1st and goal, Michigan.
I would have made the tackle. All right.
Mallett, quick swing out to Manningham. One-on-one out there, and he is dropped in his tracks. Justin King and Tony Davis combined on the stop. And Paul, does it have the same sense, the crowd and everything around you and the players, that there's a whole nother level right now?
You know, the one thing about when you look at Penn State's defense, you know, Hart had 5 yards on the first series, but you watch them, when they commit themselves to the ball, there's never any hesitation on any of the white shirts. They all know exactly what their assignments are. They know where they have to be when the ball is snapped and when the ball is thrown. If you just watch these guys, there is absolutely no hesitation at all. They just go.
2nd and goal at the 10. Arrington wide to the right side. And he's the man that they're looking for. There's the pump fake by Mallett. Now he runs with it. Freshman quarterback, touchdown. Did a heck of a nice job of pulling that football back in when he almost let it go, and then all 6'7", 250 of them headed the other way.
He's a true freshman making his 2nd start. He didn't make the mistake by throwing it to a guy that was covered. He pulled the ball down. You don't have to be a good runner, just good enough to make the defense think about you. Got it into the end zone.
Extra point is up and good. And that's Chad Henne talking to his protege, if you would like to put it that way. Chad, the injured senior quarterback, who would have loved, I'm sure, to have played in this game because he's a Pennsylvania kid and at one point looked like he was going to Penn State. But he's over there helping coach. And Chad Henne, if you don't know, and I'm sure everybody in Michigan does, but if you haven't been watching Michigan football, this was against Oregon a couple of weeks ago. Went down, got up limping, and then later in a scramble situation right in front of the bench, he takes another hit, and it's a sprained knee. We talked to Chad before the ball game. He's still got a wrap on. He's just wearing shorts down there, but he's got a black wrap around his right knee, and he says, I'm getting better. He took a few snaps in practice this week, but they know full well that they need him through the Big Ten season. And so Mallett gets the call and gets the touchdown on the ground, just capping a 10-yard drive in 2 plays after the fumble recovery by Graham. So they take advantage of the turnover. They turn it into a touchdown. Right to kick. And again, Wallace will take it. A short kick this time at the 9. And Wallace out to about the 28-yard line. So let's take it back and watch Ryan Mallett do his thing with his legs, not his arm, Bob.
Well, he's just going to drop back. Everything is going to be covered to the right side. Now, don't make a mistake right. If everything's covered, he's got a nice wall to the left side. He sees a lot of green over there. Gets over there. Massey makes a good block.
Massey got a block. So did Mike Hart. As you watch from the reverse angle, watch number 20 when he realizes the ball's not in the air. He said, I got to go get somebody, and he did. And then Massey, the one Bob was talking about, sprung in for the touchdown. So let's see if Penn State can hold on to the football this time. No gain for Austin Scott.
Penn State, for the 3rd game in a row, has got off to a slow start. 2 weeks ago against Notre Dame, an interception for a touchdown. Got him off to a slow start.
Our city X factor, and this is something to watch. Number 1 rusher in the Big Ten, the number 2 tackler in the Big Ten, going head-to-head. We've already seen Connor with a sack today. Now Penn State, 2nd down and a long 9. Morelli, quick drop, got rid of it before he got hammered, and he completed it out to the 34-yard line to Norwood. Picked up about 5, and he took a shot when he let go of that football. John Thompson got a piece of it. Game plan for today, Bob?
Well, for Penn State, it's got to get the ball to the outside to those wide receivers, the playmakers, and the tight end Quarles. And Michigan's got to run the ball to protect that true freshman quarterback. When you continue to get great field position like they did on their first 2 possessions, that's just a cherry on the top of the ice cream.
Golden's in the backfield and now flushes out of there. Morelli in the gun. Has time, this time finds his man. It's Norwood again. 1st down, Penn State. Ball out at the end of the play, and Michigan's got it.
Every play is reviewed, and they will review this to see if he was down.
That's what Penn State's hanging around. Their offense is staying on the field, as Norwood is the guy they really look to when they've got to have a play, and that's the 2nd time, and now the referee says Michigan football.
Well, guys, you had to know it'd be Michigan football because Norwood was the first guy towards the bench. He didn't even stop to look at what the officials were going to decide.
Joe Paterno, I don't think, is crazy about the call. And there might be a coach's challenge coming up here. There you see Norwood. His knee is not down yet, and he gets hit from behind as the ball's coming out. I think that's a good call.
Well, the closest thing to hitting would be his rear end, I think, because he kind of turned over backwards.
Has his hand down there, falling backwards. I don't think his rear end had hit the turf yet. But again, they're going to review it. And Joe Paterno wants it reviewed. So the ball's been out twice in 3 possessions.
Every replay that we are showing on our TV to our monitors here goes into the replay booth.
Jim Keogh's over there. He's our guy today, who was with us a couple of weeks ago, and they're reviewing it right now.
Does his left elbow hit? Left hand hit.
Boy, I'm glad they're doing that, not us in this case. Here's a close-up view. It looked like the ball was starting to come out before he is really whacked.
Well, the call on the field was a fumble,
yes.
So they'd have to have indisputable visual evidence to reverse it.
Penn State, if it's a turnover, both of them would be basically in their territory, though this one's right at midfield.
Well, the other thing that I was saying, that the fact that Norwood was the first guy to go towards the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew he had fumbled the ball. I mean, if there was any question at all, he would have been the first guy saying, wait, down, down, down. He never did that.
He probably was trying to get over there in a hurry to find a place to hide so Joe wouldn't see him, I think. Well, there it looks like his left elbow is down and that the ball might still be in his possession.
Well,
wow.
It's a freeze frame, and you can't tell whether it's loose or
yeah,
not.
You really can't. I mean, you talk about a boom, boom play. That's just it. If you looked at in regular speed and as we did and as we called it, and we're a long ways away, but it's easy for me to say fumble because I saw the ball loose, but it's not because I had time to look at that.
His hand being on the ground is not making him down. So if his hand is on the ground and the ball comes out, he is still running. He's still alive.
Well, tonight, reminder on ABC, top-ranked USC will battle Washington State in their Pac-10 opener. Others will see a showdown between some Big Ten rivals, Iowa and 9th-ranked Wisconsin. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC and ABC HD. Tonight, check your local listings. Big one in the Big Ten for Wisconsin and Iowa. So the fans here on a sun-drenched day in Ann Arbor, Michigan have enjoyed what they've seen so far as their defense has caused a turnover, turned it into a 10-yard touchdown run by their freshman quarterback. And now they await word from our referee as to whether or not that last play was a fumble or not, which would give it right back to the Michigan offense at the midfield stripe.
The main thing we were talking about.
Here's Dennis Lipsky. He's our official. We're going to find out right now.
After review, the play is reversed. The runner was down at the 48-yard line. It'll be Penn State's ball, 1st and 10.
So they reversed the play.
What they ruled is that his forearm was on the ground before the ball came out.
So now Penn State's got new life, and it is not a turnover.
But the fact remains is this Penn State offense for this 3rd week in a row is off to a slow start and a shaky start.
And just watch the defense. They're always up on the line of scrimmage. They're trying to force Morelli to throw the football. They don't care about the run. They're not even worried about that.
Here they come on the blitz, and the flag's down. Morelli better get rid of it. I don't think anybody heard the flag or the whistle, and now it's Austin Scott rumbling down inside the 40-yard line. But again, penalty markers on the play. Morelli took a big shot, and I would have thought there would have been a whistle at that flag. We'll wait and see. Brandon Harrison was the guy coming on the blitz.
Defense. Their penalties decline. Resolve the play. 1st down.
Penalty on Crable. 1st down Penn State. Matt Wider in New York. Matt. Wow. Here's the end around. Derek Williams brought down by Brandon Harrison as he picked up about 6. It'll bring up 2nd down and 4. So Penn State starting to get it geared up a little bit now in Michigan territory.
Derek Williams, number 2, is the guy that they want to get the ball on the reverses, the gimmick plays. They'll line him up in the backfield as a quarterback. It was a high school quarterback. They can throw the ball, but a lot of gimmick plays with Williams. He's got the speed, but so do those receivers out there. Norwood, Butler.
2nd down and 4. Morelli pump fake, and then the handoff on the draw play. And it's Scott, and he's got a 1st down to the 25. And Derek Williams, as Bob said, has played quarterback some in the past. Will take some direct snaps. We talked to him about whether he's always in his quarterback's ear.
Me playing quarterback, sometimes I hated that when wide receivers come in and come to me every time and be like, man, I was hoping. So I try not to do that, but sometimes I do it, but sometimes I just look at it and just give him a nod or something like that.
You ever met a receiver that wasn't open?
Well, you know what I do? I just listen to him, and then I check the tape on after the game on Monday, and I just check the tape and see if he was really open or not.
Jamison and Graham just hammer Morelli for another 6-yard sack.
came into the ball game 4th in the nation and with 18 sacks. Of course, both these teams have played Notre Dame, and Michigan had 8 sacks against Notre Dame's offense. Penn State had 9 sacks against their offense.
One of Notre Dame's statistics they just as soon forget.
Yep.
Last in the country in sacks allowed, among other things. Morelli, swing pass, and Scott dropped it. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and long. And it was a long day for Penn State quarterbacks, both of them last year. This was the last meeting between Michigan and Penn State. Here's Morelli dropping back to throw. And watch his head right in the chin, and then his head hits the turf. He leaves with a concussion. They bring in Darryl Clark. Darryl Clark didn't fare much better. He gets whacked. Boom. They're down to their 3rd quarterback this time last year, and that was not so happy a Valley.
When you see that head snap back on the ground, that's tough.
Morelli, play action down the middle. Nice play defensively by Jamar Adams, the safety, at the last moment. Got a hand in front of Corliss, the tight end.
Brad, this is right in front of me, and I'm going to tell you right now that it was just Jamar Adams makes a beautiful play. He waits and waits and waits, sees the ball come in, and then he sticks his left hand in and knocks the ball away. It's just perfect timing.
That it was. The senior out of Charlotte, North Carolina, the only North Carolina player on this roster.
This has got fake punt written all over it right here.
Boone is standing back at the 45. Well, he's going to try to pooch it over to the sideline. And did. And it made it out of bounds. Boy, nice kick. Beautiful job down at about the 3-yard line. So Michigan has got the lead. And they'll have the football deep in their own territory. And so far, for a Penn State quarterback, tough afternoon.
This little thing isn't blinding you guys, is it? That little ball spot, that blinding you at all?
Can you put a little something on there?
I can't. I don't have any something.
You got some tape on your pants, too, by the way. Have somebody rip that off.
I do?
You're right at the line of scrimmage, basically.
They come this way, I'm going to knock them out.
Yeah. They usually run left, but we'll see what happens.
That's why I said it.
That's Mike Hart straight up the middle this time, and right into Dan Connor as Connor got out to about the 6-yard line. Let's check in with Bonnie.
Brad, we talked to Mike DeBoer, Michigan's offensive coordinator, asked him for a report card on Mallett last week against Notre Dame. Now, he wasn't taxed too terribly much. On the plus side, the board said he really thought Mallett did a nice job on 3rd down, hitting the open guy when Notre Dame blitzed. On the minus side, though, he talked about Mallett's footwork. He said he wasn't taking the proper footwork a lot on some of his throws. He wasn't getting rid of the ball early enough. That subsided as the game wore on, but DeBoer did admit Penn State defense a little bit of a different bag compared to Notre Dame.
Boy, that's no doubt. And here's Brandon Miner in for Mike Hart, and Brandon Miner breaks it out for a 1st down run. Out to the 17-yard line. How come Brandon Miner was even out there right now, Paul?
Well, he's out there because Hart on that last play lost his shoe, and these guys, they really try like heck to get that thing untied to get it back on, but he never had time, so he was heads up, ran off the field. Miner goes on, gets the 1st down.
He's still relacing. And Miner with a nice run to get him some breathing room out to the 17-yard line.
This defense, Brad, is so keyed to Mike Hart that Hart wasn't in there, and the guy behind him, Brandon Miner, ran for a 1st down.
Miner stays in at least one more play. And he'll try the left side. No, it's a nice fake and a wide open tight end Carson Butler. And Butler out to the 33-yard line. Pick up a 16 more. Last week, Ryan Mallett, watch this play, out to Arrington. Arrington's going to try the quarterback throwback, and Ryan, whoops, down he goes. Now he gets it. Watch this smile. This play you thought is what loosened him up for the rest of the game.
For sure, it just settles you down. Everybody was laughing. The offensive lineman, he was getting roused in the huddle. So he said, you're accepted. That was a nice play, this other one. This one he just
That
ran.
was beautiful. And his feet have been a lot better today, or it has a rushing touchdown. That's why we have the 7-0 score. Mike Hart back in there, and he is swarmed under as they drop him for a loss of about 3.
5 or 6 defenders all over Mike Hart.
Ogbu led the way, number 85, the freshman tackle. 7-0 here. Some of the other games, Illinois beats Indiana today. It's Ohio State big on Northwestern, Michigan State, and Notre Dame tied at 7. So Notre Dame has a touchdown. We don't know if that's offense or defense. Iowa, Wisconsin tonight on ABC. Purdue and Minnesota later tonight as well. Second and long. Mallett fires, and it's almost intercepted by Justin King. And was thrown a little bit behind Mario Manningham, the intended receiver. King made a nice play.
I tell you, King on this hair play was right in a position to make the interception. He's covering Manningham, but the thing about it is he has to cover him and keep an eye on him. Had he had that one more second, he'd have picked the ball up and gone for a touchdown because there was nothing out here.
Nothing much against the Penn State defense for anybody this year.
This is pretty good defense. They're first in sacks.
And first in rushing yards allowed.
Running yards, yes.
And it's been tough sledding. Miners runs the best one so far for Michigan today. Mallett, plenty of time now, flushed out of the pocket. He might run again. Nope, dragged down from behind by Dan Connor.
Connor was on a blitz and was picked up pretty well initially. And then when Mallett scrambled out, I thought Mallett would beat him, get around him, but Connor makes the play.
Connor was blocked right at the line of scrimmage. He was on a blitz, and when he is blocked, he just waits and waits and waits. He keeps Mallett right in his sights, and as Mallett moves out across the line of scrimmage, Connor's got better speed.
Punting situation now. Mesco hit it a mile in the air, and Derek Williams has to call a fair catch at about the 34-yard line. Well, at least field position changed pretty well for Michigan on that because they started at their own 3-yard line. Connor, another look as he drags Mallett down from behind. Came in with over 300 career tackles, Dan did. Puslesny's the all-time leader with 372, and I think that one's in some serious danger, that record, with that guy around. What a player.
You know, the guy next to him is awful good, too.
Sean Lee, that's right.
They've got outstanding linebackers. I'm not telling anybody anything they don't know about Penn State linebackers.
Kinlaw has checked in at the tailback spot. Rodney Kinlaw, who had a career day last week in Penn State's win. And he'll get his first touch right here. He only got about a yard before Chris Graham closed the door on him. Well, last week was a huge win for Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide. Dramatic last-minute victory over Alabama. And this week, they want to try to make it 2 in a row. They'll host the Georgia Bulldogs. SEC East battle. College football primetime on ESPN at 7:45 Eastern. Part of Tailgating Week presented by Kingsford. Here's Kinlaw on a cutback, and he doesn't cut back very far. Will Johnson, the defensive line, makes a stop. It'll be a 3rd down Penn State after we get an update in New York from Matt. Here's Morelli on a deep out, as part of the reason Matt was hurrying up with that update for us is because Penn State was trying to go with a little bit of a no-huddle look and trying to hurry up the pace of things. All they did was hurry themselves into a punting situation. You may have missed part of that last play. Morelli.
Good protection. He drifts a little bit to his right, and the coverage is there, and he just throws it long and away.
Did Norwood grab his hamstring at the end of that play a little bit?
He might have.
We'll have to keep an eye on that. Maybe Paul and Bonner can check on it. Looked like he pulled up a little bit at the end of that pass pattern. Whoa, nice punt. Boone way over. Matthews, tough catch at the 15 and weaves through traffic. Good return by Matthews. Got about 15 on the run back. Good job by the Penn State punter as we take a look at the ESPNU All-State Standings Review. We talked about USC playing tonight on ABC against Washington State for a lot of you at 8 o'clock Eastern time. LSU and Florida of the SEC. Oklahoma rolled to a win last night over Tulsa. You see the bottom half of the bottom portion of the top 10, Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Penn State, who we've got here against Michigan.
Hey, Ness, you know who made the tackle on the punt?
Connor.
Yeah.
He's all over the place.
I'll tell you, it was unbelievable watching this guy.
Mallett, quick slants. Might be interference on this one. Flags all over. Justin King's going to be called for this one. Boy, you ever saw that? That looked like a entire laundry of yellow out there. Everybody got a piece of it. Paul's the only one who didn't throw a flag on that.
I dropped my hanky. But I'll tell you, that time on that play there, Connor, again, you just talk about him. As soon as they threw the ball, he nailed the receiver.
ineligible downfield. Number 83 of the offense. Pass interference. Number 1 of the defense. Those will offset. Will replay. First down.
That means the tight end, who was 83, was covered up by the wide receiver. The wide receiver wasn't off the line of scrimmage.
And by covered up, you mean?
Well,
you're going to show people.
He's right on the line of scrimmage, right there. And he needs to be. He's a flanker. He needs to be off the line of scrimmage.
So no harm, no foul.
Yeah. Anytime you cover up an eligible receiver, which 83 is.
So it's first down still at the 31. Mike Hart, left side, trying to get ahead of Steen. Finally gets one and got the corner. And he's run out of bounds by Justin King, but not before he has his best run of the day, 13 yards. He's a tough guy to stop. Dan Connor knew that coming into this game.
It's tough. I mean, he's probably the best back in the country, in my opinion. He's a guy who's going to work hard, and he's going to hit the hole, and he's going to be tough. And you just got to be on your stuff. You got to be playing hard every play, and you got to hit him, and you got to keep hitting him the entire game.
You know, there's a lot of respect between those two captains, offensively and defensively, and I think they just met again. Well, Taylor made the stop that time. Bonnie?
You know how important scout team is on days like this when you got a back like Mike Hart, you have to defend, right? So Connor was telling me they ran a drill on Monday where rookie back Stephon Green, who nobody knows about yet, he's highly recruited out of the Bronx, he was playing Mike Hart. They put Green out on the field by himself with the linebackers and a safety out there and said, run down the field, juke as many people as you can. And Connor said, if that drill doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what does.
That's a good story. Arrington out of the backfield in motion. Mallett has it batted down at the line. And it was Josh Gaines who got a paw on it. And I bet it's a sore paw because Mallett throws it hard, and that one went backwards in a hurry.
And Mallett is just a freshman. He's got a lot of things to worry about, but he's got to see him getting his hands up and kind of throw it around him.
He's got a little bit of a, you and I were watching him out on the field, he's got a little bit of a wind-up thing anyway.
A little bit of a hitch, not like Leftwich, who really winds up, but he's just a little bit of a wind up and throw. But he does throw the ball hard. He's working on trying to soften it up a little bit.
Third down and 10. This one's on a rope. First down, Arrington. And that's what I'm talking about. That's a case where you put all the mustard you can on it. He did.
That's the one you need the speed on to get it through there.
That was a rocket on 3rd and 10, an 18-yard pickup.
Bottom of your screen. Just going to run a deep slant. That ball comes in quickly, gets there in a hurry. Nice little drive that Michigan's got going. They gained 28 yards on the exchange of punts a little earlier.
Mallett now is out as a receiver. And here's a direct snap to Hemingway. And that one they might put right back in the back end of the playbook. As the quarter starts to come to a close. And Michigan with a touchdown courtesy basically of their defense. And a 10-yard run by number 15. We played one at Michigan Stadium. The Joe Pa fans are here. So's Joe in his 42nd year as head coach, but his team's down by a touchdown at the end of one. And we thank the Penn State band, who almost killed Mr. Greasy and I in the tunnel before the game when we were outside with the tailgaters. We couldn't get through them. Mallett back to throw. Incomplete.
He's lucky there.
Intended and lucky that he didn't get that pass picked off. But he's done some good things today. We welcome you back, Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, and Bonnie Bernstein on the sideline. The young guy, though, the quarterback from Michigan, is out playing the veteran for Morelli for Penn State.
My concern for Mallett, he's played very well. He's had good field position. My concern for Penn State offensively was the slow starts, and they've continued that.
And Morelli has been beaten up by the Michigan defense so far today. Mallett's taken a few hits, but has the only touchdown of the game on a 10-yard run. Here comes the blitz on Mallett. Michigan picks it up, and still he's going to go down, and the ball is out. Hart's trying to track it down and did. Mike Hart covered it. Dan Connor forced the fumble. So that's Connor's second sack and an 8-yard loss. Mike Hart does a good job just keeping that in Michigan's hands at that point.
Connor's going to come right up. He's right there with the official right in there, comes right up the middle, fight. What was he doing there? Trying to flip the ball to Hart over his shoulder?
And that's not a good play. Lloyd Carr, I'm sure, is telling him that right now.
Yeah, don't do that, son.
That's the best way that I know of to become the fourth-string quarterback.
Moving on the field is a forward pass, incomplete. Please reset the game clock to 14:48.
So they're going to call that an incomplete pass. Let's check in with Paul.
Well, you know, what I'm seeing down here, I mean, you just look at both of these teams on defense are just forcing these guys to throw the football. They want the ball in the air and not on the ground. Even Michigan is doing the same thing to Penn State. I would be really shocked if we don't have twice as many passes in this ball game as we have runs.
Right now we got another punt by Michigan. Mesko hangs it up. Michigan trying desperately to get there, and again it's going to be a touchback.
Mesko's punt goes into the end zone.
So Penn State's will start at the 20-yard line. Joe Paterno's troops. Joe in his 42nd year as a head coach, his 58th year on this staff, if you can believe that. There's been a lot of things happening over time. Came the 14th head coach in '66. Went on to win a couple of national titles, 82 and 86. 366 career wins, just behind Bobby Bowden. And an NCAA record for a head coach at one school, passing Amos Alonzo Stagg, who had 41 years at Chicago. First down. Kinlaw, the tailback. Boy, Michigan's defense playing really well. Loss of one. Sean Crable led the way and got help from his friends.
Michigan's defense in the conference and nation doesn't stand up too well, only because they played the first two games against a spread offense in Appalachian State and in Oregon. They don't want to hear those two names mentioned.
No.
That's in the past. This is a new season. It's the start of the Big Ten schedule. It's a chance to win the title and go to the Rose Bowl.
Amazing statistics. 798 coaching changes in Division I since Joe took over as head coach at Penn State. There's a draw play, Kinlaw. And he's met at about the 25-yard line. Let's get another update on LSU and check in New York with Matt.
Terrence Taylor on the stop for Michigan. 3rd down and 4.
All right, Matt, keep us posted. So the old ball coach is keeping it tight in Baton Rouge today. Early. What a catch by Terrell Golden.
A great adjustment.
Morgan Trent was there, had pretty good coverage, but he got him turned around at the perfect time, and then a 24-yard grab. This one should come right into your living room.
Yeah, he should have thrown it more to the outside. Look at him. He was open to the outside, and then Golden just comes back and makes a nice play on it.
That's one of those cases where not a very good throw turns into a very good play.
Exactly.
Right at midfield now, Penn State's got their offense working. On the fullback, the up man in the eye. Play action. Morelli broke a tackle in the backfield. And he got about 3 or 4 yards out of it. Chris Graham made the stop.
He had his tight end, number 10, Quarles, right down the middle of the field and never looked at him.
Quarles jogging off. Big target who had 2 touchdown catches last week in his first appearance after a 2-game suspension. Now they've got the wide receiver group out there on a 2nd down and long. There's Quarles. Big target. 6'5", 250. 2nd down and 7. Kinlaw close to a first down. Got to about the 41-yard line.
That seems to be the only play really that they've been able to run, is that delayed draw play to Kinlaw up the middle. It freezes the linebackers. It gives them a little bit more running room. At least I'm watching the holes from behind it open up, and that seems to be what's happening to it.
You know, Paul, when we talked to Galen Hall, the offensive coordinator, the other day, he was perplexed on why the slow starts. But he's mixing the plays up well on this drive, runs and passes. I like the way he's calling it.
Got two tight ends in there with Kinlaw on a 3rd down and 1, the tailback. And he's got the first down. So they keep it going to the 39-yard line. Pounding away. Kinlaw, I mentioned career highs in carries and yards last week. 23 carries for 129 yards. And off to a good job and a good start here today. Both he and Scott are 5th-year seniors, so they're sharing time. They have throughout this first half and probably will through the whole season unless somebody really gets a hot hand.
You know, they don't lose much off this offensive team. Also, they lose the quarterback, the 2 running backs, and that's about it.
Sometimes that's not good to lose all those guys.
Well, that's true.
Morelli back to throw. Buys some time. Got a man wide open. And it's Corliss. And he's down to the 16-yard line. 22-yard pickup and a first down. And there's the big tight end we were talking about.
He found the tight end. Middle of the field, he found Corliss. Let's go ahead and run it from the all 22. Corliss going to get down the middle of the field on a little bit of delay. Now here he is. Scrambled a little bit. Now he finds him. Tell you what, the tight end and the running backs out of the backfield, if you can hit your backs and your tight end down the middle of the field, you can go down the field without the rest of it.
Morelli wants to throw a middle screen. Boy, that is a tough catch by Kinlaw in traffic. And Morelli's lucky that didn't get intercepted. It's a pickup of a yard or 2. That was in some serious traffic right there.
He said, that's not the way it worked in practice.
No. The Scott team didn't give me that look. Watch this. There's a lot of maize and blue around this football. Whoa. Got away with one. And then Kinlaw gets what he can. 2nd down and 8.
That offensive line was doing too good a job of pass protection.
Yep. Austin Scott back in there now. It's Morelli in the shotgun. Scott. It's tripped up as he got to about the 11-yard line. A 3-yard gain. Under 10 minutes to go in the half. Penn State with a good drive going. Over 10 plays now. They're trying to get in the Michigan end zone. And the Wolverine fans who come out here to see if their team can win 2 in a row after an 0-2 start. And they're going to get a little bit noisy down in that end zone right about now. 3rd down and 5. They've converted a 3rd and 4 and a 3rd and 1 in this drive. 4 wide receivers for Morelli. Quick slant overthrew his man who had maybe a half step. It was Dion Butler.
He had him. He didn't have to throw it as quickly as he threw it, and he knows it.
That'll bring out Kevin Kelly and the field goal unit. Mike McQuarrie, former quarterback.
Yep.
The red hair there gives him a pat on the helmet, says we'll get another chance, don't worry about it.
McQuarrie's done a great job coordinating the recruiting.
Yep.
Recruiting coordinator. I mean, this team didn't have all these speed guys that they have now. A couple of years ago, he took over and done a great job.
Kevin Kelly will try a 28-yard field goal. You see his numbers 3 out of 5 on the year for the left footer from the left hash. And he got it right down State Street here in Ann Arbor.
The kick is good. The score is Michigan 7, Penn State 3.
Well, it could have been better. They take 3. Could have maybe been 7 if not for that pass too far in front of Dion Butler.
All right, the first thing the quarterback does when he gets the ball, he wants to look here, and he knows he's got a slant going into the inside. Now watch as where he's going to throw the slant. Everything opens up to the inside.
Nobody home back there.
He just threw it too soon, too quickly.
And he knew as soon as he let go that he didn't pull enough of the string and had a touchdown. It should have been. And there was his intended target. They know what could have been instead of what became a 28-yard field goal. But Penn State's got its first score of the Big Ten season. 7-3 with 9:14 remaining in the first half. Brandon Miner awaits Kevin Kelly's kick. He'll field it about 3 yards deep. Miner, big-time collision at about the 17 or 18-yard line. Bonnie?
Here's our celebrity portion of the game. Drew Bledsoe, 14 years in the NFL, just retired. You didn't go to Michigan. You didn't go to Penn State. What are you doing here?
Todd blocked for me for 8 years in New England. He's from Penn State. Doug blocked for me for 5 years in Michigan. They've had a standing bet, so I told him the year I retired I'd come watch this game with them.
You've been in the NFL. You've been in college. Which place provides the better atmosphere?
College football is so much fun. I mean, I love playing college ball. Only did it for 3 years. Being in an atmosphere like this and seeing the enthusiasm and the fans come out, it's really fun.
You're a Washington State alum. You're playing USC tonight. How do you think that game's going to break down?
We're going to have to play very, very well to keep it close. But, you know, hey, you never know. There was a big upset in this stadium not so long ago, so maybe we can do the same against SC.
All right, enjoy the game, Drew.
Thanks, guys. Drew looks like he could get out there and probably show these guys a thing or two, I'd say. Including Mallett, who just threw incomplete, intended for Mike Massey, his tight end. Let's take a look at our Aflac trivia question for this week. Besides Michigan, what are the other 3 schools to produce both a U.S. president and a Super Bowl winning quarterback? That's a good question.
President and a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Of course, President Ford was a captain on the Michigan football team, and we know Tom Brady has won several Super Bowls. But who are the other 3 schools?
That's a good question.
Think that one over.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. At the 18, second down and 10. Mallett hands off Mike Hart. And Hart drags tacklers, including Connor and Lee, out to about the 27-yard line.
Every time Mike Hart gets the ball, you say Connor and
I
Lee.
do. That was our City X Factor thing, and it's coming to pass here in the first half. Because number 40 is looking for number 20 all day long and vice versa, I
If
think.
Mike Hart runs for over 100 yards today, it will be like rushing for over 250.
You told Mike DeBoer, the offensive coordinator, that down on the field, and he agreed readily with you on that one. 2 tight ends set here, and a fullback. And Mike Hart. And a first down at the 31-yard line. Mark Rubin, along with Lee and Connor, make the stop, but it's a first down, Michigan. Well, the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series continues at Dover on ABC coming up tomorrow. Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon are tied atop the standings. Tony Stewart's just 10 points back. Dover, known as the Monster Mile. Coverage starts 1 o'clock Eastern with NASCAR Countdown. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. And Mike Hart would like to run for a monster mile here today like he did last week when he had 187 yards and 3 touchdowns in a guaranteed win, which he delivered over Notre Dame. Mallett pump fakes and throws complete. No. Yes, Manningham did make it.
Complete to Mario Manningham.
And a 12-yard pickup and a first down. Mallett's pulled this thing back a couple times today, Bob, and then reloads on this one.
Yes, he's got good protection. He pulls it back right there because he didn't see everything to the short guy, and then he throws it outside. Manningham catches it with his knee on the ground, which is all right. You just can't get up and run.
Manningham 3 catches against Penn State, 2 of them touchdowns last year, I should
Mike
say.
Hart carried the ball.
Made the guarantee last week to win the game. When I talked to him this week, I said, how many yards do you think you're going to get? Give me a guess, guys. What do you think?
What do you say, 150?
He said 160 to 170. He's looking at 40 carries. Now, to give the whole story, he said, look, if Henny was in the game, I wouldn't be expecting that. I'd expect more of a balanced game attack. But he really felt like he needed to put this game on his shoulders because Mallett's the rookie, and they don't want to put that much pressure on him.
Well, last week he passed Ty Wheatley on the Michigan list, and he's got the #1 spot of Anthony Thomas in his sights this year. And here he comes again. And out to midfield. Dan Connor and Maurice Evans make the stop.
What you've got is number 40,
Sean
an All-American
Lee and Dan
linebacker
There they are.
from Penn State, and number 20, an All-American running back going head-to-head.
Well, you know, Grace, you watch him. I'm standing here behind Connor, and when I see Connor, wherever Hart is, Connor, that's the first person he looks at. As soon as that ball is snapped, he looks directly at Hart. You go, I go. You come at me, I'm coming at you. It's beautiful to watch this thing.
3rd down at 4. Mallett in the gun. Fires complete. First down, Arrington. Down at the 43-yard line. And again, he put a lot on that one to get a Michigan first down. Let's check out what's going on in the SEC again. Here's Matt.
First down, Michigan.
So Michigan State off to a good start this year, better than their Michigan counterparts record-wise. And look at Mike Hart run again. Almost, or might have, the first down behind Jake Long and company again. There's quite a pair. Look at Jake Long and look at Mike Hart.
Look at the size difference.
One is 6'7", and the other one is 5'9". Don't forget, coming up, Cooper Tire halftime show. John and Craig and Doug will have all the highlights from the big games, including 3 of the nation's top 5 teams in action. That's about 5 minutes and 48 seconds away.
You know, we saw that LSU report. Matt Flynn, the quarterback for LSU, we saw him when he substituted
for Jamarcus Russell in the Peach Bowl 2 years ago. He was the MVP.
Yeah, he was the MVP for. That was the only game he had started before this year.
Yep.
Now he gets his chance. A 5th-year senior, got a lot of good players around him at LSU.
And then Perilou comes in last week when Matt sat it out with an injury, and he did a great job. So they got 2 good quarterbacks there. Measurement here, and it's right down to the inch.
You know, there's a lot of good football teams right up there at the top. USC is awfully good.
Oklahoma looks sensational so far.
Just blowing out Nebraska last week. Oklahoma really looks good. LSU, I really like LSU. And then Florida.
Here, yep.
Get Florida.
And here a top 10 team, or are they? Penn State visiting Michigan. Mike Hart under a pile of whites. Philip Taylor made the stop. First down, Michigan. Mike's earning his scholarship today, though.
Did you see him? Looked over the sideline, raised his fingers. And, give me a rest. I got a rest.
I need a sip of water and a 1 play off. Here's Big Jake.
Krause, 57, yes.
That time Mike ran right into Jake. Brandon Miner's going to come in and give him that quick breather. 9th play of the drive. Miner trying to take it wide. Says hello to Mr. Connor. Loss of 1.
I'm sorry, Brad, but I just sit here and I look at Connor. I don't care who the back is. All Connor does is he looks at that backfield. We got an injured player down there from Michigan, but as soon as that back goes whichever way he goes, Connor is there. And you know, one thing about him is he will not allow you to cut it back up in.
Oh, that's for sure. Looks like it's Alex Mitchell, the right guard, shaken up for Michigan.
The injured Michigan player.
And we'll check on Alex when we return. Timeout with 5:08 to go, first half. That's the number 10 University of Michigan volleyball team. They remain undefeated. They're 13-0, and the Wolverines return to the court tonight to take on 9th-ranked Wisconsin in Big Ten play. Here it's 7-3 rather, Michigan. And on the drive, Mallett gives off Mike Hart. Hart inside the 25, sidesteps, drags people down to the 20-yard line. Another first down. Well, Mike's got about 62 yards rushing, I think, here in the first half. And I said they've been hard-earned yards, but he's got 44, that's 62 on this drive.
Watch the block of Long, number 77. There's Connor 40. He's blitzing, blitzes himself right out of the play. That's the first time that they've had a running play and that Connor wasn't right there, that he wasn't blitzing.
First down at the 20. Here's the stretch to Hart. Got by 1, got by 2, and got about 8 more. And now Mike Hart is picking up the pace. 71 yards for Hart.
One of the reasons they're picking up the pace is because they are now blocking Connor. The play before, Connor, as Bob said, took himself out of the play. And this time they just blocked him down the line of scrimmage. He didn't make the play.
Mike gets another breather, looks up at that scoreboard that has 4 minutes and change remaining in the half. Brandon Miner comes in for him.
2 tight ends in the game.
Miner ran right into Connor.
Brandon Miner was the ball carrier.
We asked you the Aflac trivia question earlier. The other 3 schools other than Michigan that had a president and a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Well, some of this might surprise you, I bet. Herbert Hoover from Stanford, Jim Plunkett and John Elway both won championships in the NFL. Jimmy Carter and Roger Staubach. And then Miami of Ohio, Benjamin Harrison, and recently Ben Roethlisberger.
That's a good question.
I like that one.
I'd like to know how many people out there got that one.
I tell you, there's a few that are still scratching their head, I think.
Because you got to know politics, and you got to know
history,
and
you got to know football.
You got to know sports. You know.
2 tight ends. Mike Hart back in. And this time he's dropped for a loss.
Mike Hart, the ball carrier.
Bowman came from the outside, and Agbu from his defensive tackle
Bowman,
spot.
Along with Ali Agbu on the stop for Penn State.
And you got another lineman down. Chula was a guy that just came in for Mitchell, and he's down.
And he is holding the same leg that Mitchell was. So Michigan with another offensive lineman down, and we've got a timeout. 3:20 left until halftime. Michigan leading 7-3. Mitchell on the left, back in the Michigan huddle, hobbling a little bit, but Jeremy Chula, who came in to take his place, was just helped off the field, took a long walk to the bench for Michigan. 15th play of the drive coming up for Michigan. Mallett wants to throw a screen. Dangerous spot for that one, too. Could have been picked off. Intended for Mike Hart. And Bowman, the outside linebacker, made the play.
You're right, screen play. Bowman saw it the whole way, and Mallett did a nice job of just throwing it into the ground.
So here's a big third down for Michigan, and what their red zone offenses look like this year. 8 touchdowns and 1 field goal. 1 for 1 today. That was the 10-yard run, the only touchdown of the day by Mallett after he scrambled out of the pocket and found the corner of the end zone. And we're going to have a timeout taken by Michigan again. We'll take it with them. We'll see if they can get a touchdown when we come back.
IBM presents the 25 greatest players ever. Number 24, Reggie Bush. This versatile back averaged over 200 all-purpose yards per game over his final 2 seasons. The 2005 Heisman winner shares a 34-game winning streak and 2 national titles. IBM, getting it done.
We'll keep counting down. We'll have number 23 for you next week, all the way down to number 1 at the Rose Bowl. Mallett to the end zone, incomplete. Over the head of his intended receiver, Greg Matthews. So Reggie Bush was the number 24 after Ernie Nevers last week, and every Saturday through the end of the regular season, and then number 1s during the Rose Bowl presented by Citi. Reggie will be in action with his New Orleans Saints, looking for a first win of the season on Monday Night Football on Monday at 8:30. Jason Gingell now in for the field goal attempt. He'll try from 29 yards out. And the kick is no good. Wide right.
Pulled it, shanked it.
There's a golden opportunity missed. Didn't get the touchdown or the field goal, and we stay stuck at 7-3.
You know what's neat, though, Brad? When you miss a field goal like that, nobody talks to you. I mean, none of the guys, you know, they pat the guy on the head. It's okay. It's okay. Not this team.
Nope.
They didn't say a word to him.
Well, they had a great drive, 16 plays. They got it down there, throwing into the end zone. Just didn't come away with any points.
Well, our Pacific Life game summary. It's been hard for everybody today. Gaining yards. Quarterback Morelli fumbled the first series. Graham with the hit. Graham with the fumble recovery, and that turned into a 10-yard touchdown run by Mallett as Kinlaw takes it off the left side. But that fumble caused by Brandon Graham, recovered by Chris Graham, and that was right at the 10-yard line in the first quarter. And then Mallett went back to throw, couldn't find his receiver, but he found the end zone with his legs, and that's where we are, 7-3. Deion Butler with a catch out to the 29-yard line. Picked up about 5. It's still going to be 3rd and 1 and 2:20 remaining. Penn State has all its timeouts remaining. Bob, you want to show the folks about the little timeout lines again?
Yeah, timeouts are right
there. You
up
go.
here.
Those little yellow digits.
Yeah.
Penn State's got 3. Michigan has 1 remaining. Morelli deep out, incomplete, and it is 4th down. And now it's well, I guess there is no decision. Joe says, let's kick this thing away.
You know, I don't understand the play. I'm standing down here. They're in a hurry-up offense. Morelli looked at the sidelines. They told him to hurry up. They had 3rd and a yard. Didn't even line up to run the football at all, and threw like a 15 or 16-yard pass. I don't understand it.
Well, Joe was given something to McQuarrie there on the sideline. He's hooked up to Galen Hall up in the press box. Probably wondering why they threw that instead of run a play, just like you thought.
Probably had the same exact question that Paul had.
Yeah.
Boone's punt. Matthews will get out of the way of it. It bounces Out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. Let's get another update in New York. Here's Matt.
Out of bounds at the 27-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10, Michigan.
They've only got one touchdown less there than we do here. 7-3.
Hey, it's the opening of the Big Ten schedule.
You can just tell, can't you?
Yeah.
It's a different level of hitting.
It's defenses.
Penn State's had 3 3-and-outs, including the last one. So Michigan's got the ball back with almost 2 minutes to go. And Mike Hart loses a yard on that one.
Sean Lee on
well, coming up Monday, Dancing with the Stars has a 3-night premiere event. Dancing with the Stars season premiere live Monday at 8 o'clock, 7 Central, only on ABC.
It's a new season starting already, huh?
Yeah, they got Marie Osmond's in there. Mark Cuban. I know he can't dance. I was around the NBA.
Mark Cuban of the NBA?
Yeah, the owner of the Mavericks.
Yeah.
Tell you what, Floyd Mayweather, the boxer, I know he can dance. He can dance better than he can punch.
What fighter can't dance?
Jane Seymour. I like Jane Seymour. Let's give her a little. She'll be our early favorite.
Mike Hart, the ball carrier.
And now fans are booing here with the minute 14 to go that Michigan's not opening things up a little bit more as they run it again. And Penn State takes the timeout because they have still 2 remaining. So Mike Hart's doing better than anybody else has done against the Penn State defense, but still it's been tough sledding today. So Penn State called that timeout with a minute 14 left because it's 3rd and a long 9 for Michigan. Mallett down the middle of Manningham. First down across the 40-yard line. Anthony Scarrato made the tackle. Michigan on the move. Now they go to the hurry up. And the fans were booing moments ago because they weren't passing, and Mallett zips one down the middle. Now they got a first down, and they still have 1 timeout remaining. Clock winding now at a minute, and now 59 and counting. Mallett stands in over the middle, tipped and incomplete. That'll stop the clock. Mike Hart was the guy that was out there, but Chris Baker got a hand on it.
Pass was tipped by Chris Baker. 2nd and 10.
53 seconds remaining. Sun-drenched Michigan Stadium today. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, Bonnie Bernstein, and a packed house. Over 100,000 for the 204th time, and they've seen a hard-hitting Big Ten matchup. Big Ten opener for these 2 teams. 1 touchdown so far. That's Ryan Mallett on a 10-yard scramble. And right now he's back in the pocket and scrambling to step up the throw. Across the middle, Arrington's got it, and a first down. Dragging Liddell Sargent with him.
I tell you, Brad, I'm impressed with Mallett the way he's playing today. It's only a 2nd start. True freshman, if you've just joined us, out because of Chad Henne. He's got a knee problem, a 4-year starter. And this young kid is doing very well, thank you very much.
He's got him in Penn State territory at the 46, and now it's Hart, and Hart takes it up the middle. Sean Lee trying to hold on for dear life, and Mike got down to the 39-yard line. 7 more yards for him. And Michigan takes its final timeout. So Mallett will get a quick breather and a quick drink as he heads over to talk to the coaching staff. And there's Chad Henne right there, starting quarterback for Michigan today, helping out as basically another coach and another ear and another guy that can talk to the youngster about what's going on out there.
And Chad Henne is no small guy. He's
no,
6'2",
but look at how big Mallett is.
225. Mallett, if you just joined us, he's 6'7" and 250. So, and he moves around pretty well.
Well, Chad has been very open with his praise of Mallett and has said, you know, I think this kid is going to be the best that's ever come out of here. And when you consider Chad's already tied John Navarre in career touchdown passes, and there have been some darn good quarterbacks at Michigan. If he thinks he's going to be the best one, then he maybe knows something ahead of time. You look at Dan Connor. At least his nose isn't bleeding so far today. He's usually got something cut out there.
He does.
And he has a look at number 15 as you look from behind Mike Hart and the Michigan offense. Mallett, here comes Connor, and he got rid of it. He threw it way up in the stands. Nice catch by somebody over there in the crowd. And Mallett got deposited by Connor when he let go of the ball.
Pass incomplete.
It's the last thing that Mallett wanted to do is take a sack, so he got rid of the football.
That would have been Connor's third had he gotten there just a hair sooner.
Well, you know, when you watch Connor blitz, go for running plays, he's almost looking like Hart with his feet. I mean, he avoids enough people blocking him to get to the quarterback, to get to the runner. He really does. He looks a lot like Hart, but on the other side of the ball.
He sifts through things. Here he comes again. Hart picks him up. Mallett fires complete. Arrington inside the 20. 5 down to the 24.
And no timeouts, but the clock will stop temporarily while they move the chains.
Arrington already has 3 catches, Grease, on 3rd down today, including that one.
Clock starts.
And Mallett downs the ball to stop the clock with 19 seconds left. So we'll have a chance to look back over to the sideline and get the play call and regroup with a 2nd down and 10.
This is where the offense has got to hold it together. I mean, you just stopped the clock. You didn't call a timeout. Now you're already down to 17 seconds to get this ball snapped. So you got to get up there and get going.
They'll line up 2nd down and 10 at the 24-yard line of Penn State, leading 7-3. Here comes everybody. Mallett stands, fires, almost intercepted. He had Arrington open, I think, near the goal line and missed him. Justin King was back there covering. Manningham and Arrington were very close in proximity down there in the end zone.
Grace, I got to tell you something. Standing down here and watching that ball go by, you know, it looks like somebody hit a driver. It just went flying by.
Well, he had plenty of time. He threw it to the inside. He just threw it over Arrington's head.
So
but
now he faces.
The good news is he threw it to an open area, an open spot.
Blitz coming again on 3rd and 10. Firing in. This one intercepted. Lydell Sargent coming the other way. Sargent looking for a block. And he'll get out to the 37-yard line. Mallett's the guy that brought him down. He'd love to have the pass again. He'll take the tackle, I guess. A 28-yard return of the interception.
Made the tackle. Was intended for Adrian Arrington.
He probably thought he should have had the one before, but he's trying to throw the ball down the middle of the field.
It was returned to the 37-yard line. First and
right here. That's where he's trying to hit it. That's
Too many white jerseys around.
That's a tough throw, yeah.
So now we're down to 1 second. And it looks like Penn State will just come out and probably take a knee. They've actually got a safety man in there to make sure nothing happens. Pat Devlin, the 3rd quarterback, and that's what they do. So they'll go to the locker room down 7-3 on the road. And Michigan with just 1 touchdown. And that a look at the only touchdown today in front of the sellout crowd. Michigan with Ryan Mallett. ESPN's College Football on ABC presented by Best Buy. And it is Michigan leading Penn State 7-3 as we're just about set to start the 3rd quarter. There's Ryan Mallett, the freshman quarterback. Only his 2nd start in for the injured Chad Henne. And he's done a pretty good job today, including that 10-yard scramble when he couldn't find a man open, and that's the only touchdown. There have been some other opportunities, and on the other side, Anthony Morelli's had a tough day. He's been knocked around pretty well by the Michigan defense, and Michigan will get the football first. The kick goes to Brandon Miner about 4 yards deep, and number 4 brings it out the other way. Miner almost broke it open. Nice return by Miner and good field position for Michigan. Welcome back, everybody. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy. It was too good to last. Paul McGuire is back in the booth with us. Yeah. What'd you see down there?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Nothing, huh?
No, there's nothing going on. I just down there.
Some pretty good hitting, I'd say.
Oh, man, is there ever. But you know the thing about it is when you look at this game and what's been going on, and I said to Bob when I get up here, how slow everything seems to be, you just have the feeling that somebody's going to break a punt return, a kickoff return, interception.
See, these defensive guys think it's slower. I think it's much faster when you get down there.
You're a lot older.
And the hitting is a lot harder.
Well, both teams are going to have to pick up the offensive intensity a little bit. Maybe not the intensity, but what they're getting out of their offense, something's got to give pretty soon. Good field position, though, for Michigan. And it's tackle Hart. And Mike Hart, who has done most of the offensive damage today, gets another nice gain, a pickup of 9. Let's check in with Bonnie.
Yeah, I know you guys aren't going to be surprised that Paterno didn't have much positive to say at halftime. I said, Coach, how was the momentum going into the locker room with Sargent's interception? He said, momentum, we're down by 4 points. There's no momentum. I said, well, okay, can you explain how Morelli got untracked so early with the sacks and the fumbles? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. He says, I still have no idea what kind of team I have. How was my impersonation?
You do a better Paterno than Joe does.
Thank you.
That's a good one. Massey, the motion man on second and short. Blitz coming. Hart got a first down run. Sean Lee and Dan Connor again combine on the stop. We've called 45 and 40's number a bunch today, and obviously they're keeping track of number 20. Remember, when Mike Hart gets 100 yards, usually Michigan wins, coming in 18 and 4 when he goes for over 100. Right now he's got 89, and as Bob said earlier, if he goes for 120 or 30, it'll seem more like 250 by the time he gets done trying to shake number 40 and number 45. He'll try the right side and drop for a loss. Ali Agbu made the tackle that time, and a loss on the play. If you take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, you're not going to see many glaring statistics, at least not offensively, but you will see that each team had a turnover and one team capitalized and one team didn't.
Turnover came off of the scoring came off the turnover, and Michigan also with 15 more plays in that first half than Penn State.
Boy, every offensive coordinator in the world would like to have that discrepancy.
They had 27 plays, Michigan did, in their last 2 drives and didn't score a point.
Blown opportunities. And flags down. I think Butler, the tight end, had crossed the line of scrimmage as he came in motion. He's hitting himself in the helmet right now, and he knows the flag is going to be called on him. He came in motion and became the slot man. It was supposed to become a blocker on that screen, and he got across the line of scrimmage before the snap.
Ness, you know who's really tired? And I'm serious, when I was down there looking at the linemen, both sides, offense.
Was moving forward prior to the snap. That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
Offense and defensive linemen. These guys are, I mean, they are battling in those trenches.
And it's hot.
It really is hot down there. There's no air.
Last week we were here and it was about 62 degrees at game time, and I'd wager to say it's more like 82 today. So they declined the penalty, was on the tight end. And now Mallett and company and Jake Long looking at a 3rd down and 13. 6th time Michigan's had 3rd and 10 or more today. Here comes the blitz. Mallett trying to run out of the pressure, throws, and Massey's going to be all wrapped up by Sargent. Boy, somebody picked up a blitz in there, but there was a collision. I think it's Mike Hart.
It was hard again. Oh. We saw it last week and saw it. He did it once in the first half. Well, watch number 20 just step up.
You go hit Connor.
Oh, man, I'll tell you, these two guys, this is the 2nd time. Watch this. Bam! Ooh. Head to head, these two guys hit. And Connor stopped. He just stopped in his tracks.
Hart says, you've been hitting me all day. I'm going to come up and hit you one good one.
Here's the punt by Mesko. Hangs it up in the sun. Derek Williams is going to have to call fair catch and take it at the 17-yard line. Timeout with 12:32 remaining in the 3rd quarter. No change in the score. Penn State's got another chance. Offensively, we'll see what they can do when we return. Halftime adjustments. Anthony Morelli's got to start playing better in the 2nd half. In Michigan, they blew some opportunities where they could have had points in the first half. 3 and out at the 42-yard line, missed a short field goal, and then threw an interception in Penn State territory. Austin Scott hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss. First hit made by Sean Crable, the outside linebacker and captain number 2, and then he got help from the rest of his friends on that Michigan defense. It's been pretty stingy today.
Penn State has only gained 46 yards on the ground in the first half. And if they don't do better than that, our friend Morelli has got to step up. He's got to get the ball to the wide receivers and to Quarles, the tight end, the guys that can have some shake and bake and make some things happen.
He's got Norwood and Butler as the wide receivers on 2nd and long. On play action, going for Quarles. Oh, what a catch. I think he's out of bounds, but he one-handed it over there. Wow.
You got to do that inbounds.
Yeah. How about 6'5", 250 moving that fast and then having that good of hands?
Caught 2 touchdown passes last week. There he is.
Watch this snare. Man. That was nice, right in front of the Penn State bench.
And he tried to get his foot down, too. He really, talk about a guy hustling.
3rd down and 12. Morelli down the middle. Incomplete, broken up. Engelman and Adams, the 2 safeties, made the play.
Yeah, but I don't think you're supposed to have Norwood and Williams in the same spot.
You know, Michigan's defense is dominating Morelli and Penn State's offense. We've been here for 3 weeks in a row. You remember 2 weeks ago when we were here for Oregon?
Yeah.
With the spread option offense?
Whole different look.
And no, Michigan couldn't cover that.
But they could do what Notre Dame did last week, and so far they've been able to handle what Penn State offers today. Boone's punt. Greg Matthews camps under it and takes it, and down he goes right in his tracks. Nice job on the special teams by Knowledge Timmons. 11:37 remaining 3rd quarter, and Mike Hart has been most of the Michigan offense again today, not only with his legs, but he'll hit you when he doesn't get the ball. Watch some of the blocking. Boom, there's Connor. He got a good one there. And then here comes Connor. Ooh! And Mike says, you know, you can't be scared to be a blocker. So there's his numbers on the day, 86 yards. And he runs into Connor again. Not as a blocker, but as a runner. And here's Mike on blocking.
You can't be scared. You have to go in there and not be scared to hit somebody. You have to be like a safety, you know, going up there and not scared of contact. But at the same time, when I got here, I learned a lot. Learned a lot how to protect. Coach Jackson taught me a lot. Correct angles, you know, where to place hands, where to cut people off. And the other thing is knowing where the blitz is going to come from.
Yeah, he's known today, hasn't he?
Well, I know why he runs so well. He talks so fast. He runs the same way.
This time hit the backfield again, though. Penn State getting some good penetration this time. Maurice Evans.
We obviously know the offensive guys appreciate Mike Hart, but you know what Ron English, the defensive coordinator, said? He said Hart is the smartest player he has ever seen in his entire coaching career. And of course, the defensive guy appreciates the blocking, but he remembers when they were first recruiting Hart, they saw high school tape on him from upstate New York. The first running back went in this particular game, couldn't get anything done. Second guy went in, couldn't get anything done. And then there's this little 5'9" pipsqueak who everybody thought he was too small and too weak. And sure enough, he scored every time down the field.
Here's the pass, zipped out, completes. And it's out near the 45-yard line.
Those are the types of routes that are there for Mallett all day long. And they're there on the outside, the out routes by the wide receivers, because Penn State is playing 7 and 8 guys inside the box to take care of Hart and stop the run.
10 of 22 and the 1 rushing touchdown. But time to give up the football again on 4th down. Zoltan Mesko has been a kind of a busy punter today. Scarrato is back as the punt return man for Penn State. And fair catch. Scarrato takes at the 20-yard line. And Scarrato looked like he got hurt as he made that fair catch. Maybe just a cramp in the calf. It's a hot day. 7-3 Michigan. Michigan plans stadium renovations to include 83 suites and 3,200 club seats. That construction is going to start, they tell us, as soon as this football season's over. And they continue to promise us a new broadcast booth.
Yeah, there's the old one.
We'll believe that when we see it. But
here we are right there. It's a little late. But that's due to be finished in 2010.
Morelli throws the out, completes. Deion Butler makes the catch out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. Non-English defensive team. And they had come in giving up 162 yards on the ground per game, and they have shut down Penn State in that capacity very well today.
So one of the things we have been is inconsistent. The effort is not there all the time. The toughness has not always been there. And the leadership has not always been there. But I think the last couple of weeks, the way this defense has played, well, they've shut everybody out. They shut out Notre Dame, and Penn State hasn't scored a touchdown.
Penn State's only got 29 yards on the ground. They'll try it again. Still nothing. Well, second effort by Scott got him back closer to the first down marker, but still about a yard short. Tim Jamison a defensive end senior out of Riverdale, Illinois, made the stop. Galen Hall calling the shots for the Penn State offense.
Galen played at Penn State, played quarterback at Penn State for Joe Paterno.
Well, 5 out of the 7 possessions of Penn State, Brad, they've held them without a first down on 5 of them. 5 out of 7, they didn't get a first down.
I think Rip was still coaching when Galen was a quarterback, wasn't he?
You think so?
I think so. Joe was on the staff, though, for sure. There's a first down run and a lot more. Scott all the way out to the 47-yard line. Shows some of the flashes of why he was so highly recruited several years ago. 19-yard pickup.
Well, you run at a hole enough times and eventually it's going to open up, and it hasn't been opening up for most of this game, but just take a look at the blocking right at the hole. It was absolutely perfect. Every man got a man.
Lucian, the right guard, came around and got the key block.
Penn State's first down since there was 10 minutes left in the second quarter.
And that right there, some form of running game will help a quarterback more than anything.
You bet. On the fullback in motion. Morelli play action. Fires out to Hahn on the run inside the 45 down to the 42. Chris Graham, the linebacker, made the stop. Going to be another first down, though. Reminder coming up. At the conclusion of our game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. One thing Penn State always seems to have is a good fullback and one that has good hands out of the backfield.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Hahn, you know, he's like the Rodney Dangerfield Award. He gets no respect.
He doesn't get the ball.
He just blocks. His nose is always bloody, and he catches the ball out of the backfield.
First down, Penn State's. Fake the end around. Morelli fires to the guy he faked it to, Norwood, and he's got what appears to be another first down. When they need a play or they need a third down, 24 is the guy they go for.
Well, it was a smart decision by Morelli also, because they tried to go deep to Butler and it wasn't there, so he didn't throw it. He came off to Norwood, and that was just a good read.
Did you see Joe Paterno on the sidelines, Brad? He's got his pants rolled up and his sleeves rolled up.
Oh, yeah.
He's got his sleeves rolled up. Now go down to his pants. He's all, you think, and he's ready. I'm ready.
Those are the same pants and same white socks since 1966. Sue just keeps cleaning them for him. First down at the 31. Here's a give to Scott in the middle of the pile, and very little gain, if any. Brandon Graham made the stop. Joe Paterno's in his 42nd year, we mentioned, as a head coach. Who's the Nittany Lion head coach? You know, I gave this away. I was the coach who preceded Joe Paterno at Penn State. Who am I? Sorry, guys, I'm going to mess that up for everybody.
See if they're listening.
Maybe, yeah, they might not be listening.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Rip Engel. That's who.
Yeah.
Penn State head coach, 15 years. And then Joe was on his staff for 16 years before becoming the head coach. Morelli got a man. It's Butler at the 11-yard line.
Boy, I'm going to tell you, this offensive line is now blocking. They've been blocking in most of the game anyway, except the running plays, they haven't been able to open it up. But Bob was right. You get one or two running plays, and then it opens up the passing game, and then it's going to open up the running game back up again.
Take a look out here. He's just going to run down and to the inside. Two backs in the backfield. Both of them will slide out. Good protection. And Butler down the field about 15 yards, just runs a little in route.
With the fullback in there, things seem to be going better offensively. He stays in. Scott behind him. And the ball came out of the hands of Scott. He fumbled twice last week. He's fumbled here. Michigan's got it, I think. Brandon Graham's holding on to the ball. The officials have not given us a signal yet.
The question is,
now they have.
Is he down? And I don't think this time he is down.
Here's Scott coming right at you behind his blockers. There's the hit put on. The ball is out before his back lands. And for the third time in 2 weeks, Austin Scott's put it on the turf.
You know, Bob, how many times do you got to tell a guy, I mean, you got to protect the football. You're in an area where they're going to try to strip it. They try to strip it all the time anyway. And you're going in to score, and you're just carrying the ball, trying to pick up an extra yard. Let the line get you the yard.
Tim Jamison is the guy that made the hit.
It's tough. You cannot be a running back if you fumble the football.
The folks up here next to us are taking a look at this. A different angle this time.
Yeah, that didn't help.
Well, when you're right there, if you look before the defender went by, that ball is out before his back hits the ground. This is obviously a fumble. Well, not for everybody, but.
Well, it was pretty close, whether his back was on the ground before the ball came out.
If it indeed is a fumble, which is what it was called on the field, it'll be Michigan ball offensively at the 9-yard line.
They overturned one in the first half, remember?
Yeah. Again, Jim Keogh's our replay official. Jim came in at halftime, talked to us about the call that they did reverse in the first half.
Jamison is number 90 is going to get. All right, that's. Can we take it back and slow it down and stop it?
Play stands. That's called.
Yeah.
First down.
Michigan takes over.
Said the ball was out before his elbow hit the ground.
So Michigan stops what looked like some sort of scoring drive for Penn State. You would figure they were at least going to get 3 out of that, and they come away empty.
You just can't put the ball on the ground if you're a running back. I mean, that just, you just can't play. I mean, and I'm not jumping on Austin Scott. He's been a great back and a fine runner, but like you said, the last few weeks he's been putting it on the ground.
This guy almost never puts it on the ground. Hart out to the 12.
What's that number on Hart?
Oh, it's up around 900 touches now.
Well,
I don't know. It was 858 in the
he came
first
in
half.
853 touches where he hadn't lost a fumble.
And he's touched it how many times today? He has already carried it 24 times.
But
so he's closing in on 900 touches without fumbling, or at least giving a fumble that the opposition recovered.
When you watch him, Brad, just as he's ready to get hit, he protects the football, always, with both hands.
Here comes 878, and there goes another first down run. Mr. Dependability, Mike Hart. So Michigan's got a first down. Hart keeps rambling. 96 yards. Closing in on that magic number again. He'd like to get to that 19-4, the amount of times that he rushes for 100 yards and how many victories compared to losses Michigan suffers. We welcome you up to the booth. You got a tip for these guys on holding on to the football?
You got to hold on to the football. Here's the tip. Cover both ends of the ball. Put the back end into your arm and your side and your pick, and cover the front end with the hands of your ball and hold on tight. And don't swing the thing outside in.
We need a blocker up here. This guy knows how to carry it, and he's carrying it just about like Bob just showed him. Let's check in with Bonnie.
No surprise, Austin Scott is just beside himself down here on the sideline. Since he's come off the field, he hasn't stopped pacing. He's shaking his head. He's saying words I can't say on family television. But to Penn State's credit, Brad, I got to tell you, every single guy on this team has come up to him, patted him on the helmet, told him to shake it off. They know he's not happy right now, but they're just trying to keep him in one piece.
I would bet it's going to be Rodney Kinlaw the next time Penn State takes the field offensively, but we'll wait and see.
I can assure you they didn't say it's okay.
3rd down and 5. Mallett fires far side. What a catch by Arrington. Boy,
that was a good catch.
That's a tough catch. It's a tough angle. It's a hard throw.
And
he knew
looking,
the sideline was coming.
Looking back into the sun.
Looking back in the sun.
Shadows.
He's got 6 catches, 5 of them on 3rd down. You think Ryan Mallett's finding a favorite receiver on 3rd down?
Well, it used to be Manningham, but now it seems to be Arrington, as you mentioned.
Great look again at that grab out to the 33-yard line. Brandon Miner comes back in as the Michigan single setback. And a fumble. Penn State's got this one. Mallett never handled the snap. A.J. Wallace has got the fumble recovery.
Exchange is recovered by Penn State.
Now the Penn State fans have got something to cheer about, and they've got great field position if they can take advantage of it.
Oh, boy.
You can't do anything until you get the ball from center. It looked like Mallett was pulling away from the center before the ball was up there.
He did that last week, too. And we talked to Mike DeBoer about it, the offensive coordinator. He said, yeah, it was just a case of backing out without the football, and he did it again.
Was Bohr in the center? I think he was.
Morelli. Incomplete, intended for the fullback Matt Hahn. Chris Graham, nice play defensively from his linebacker spot.
You know, they ran kind of a play action deal, and there wasn't one guy open. Michigan covered all 4 receivers that came out.
Well, the bottom line is Michigan got a break when the Scott fumble.
Yep.
Now they gave it right back, so the field position is just about the same for the Nittany Lions.
For Penn State, it's the best starting field position they've had all day. At the Wolverine 35, 2nd and 10. Blitz coming. And Kinlaw goes down for a loss. Chris Graham. Boy, Chris Graham's had a heck of a game at outside linebacker. NASCAR Nextel Cup Series continues at Dover on ABC. Coming up tomorrow, Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon are tied. Tony Stewart just 10 points back heading into the second race of the chase. They call it the Monster Mile at Dover. Coverage starts 1 Eastern with NASCAR Countdown. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
I like the 24 car and the 48 car. Paul, what do you like?
I still like the 20 car for Michigan out here.
Yeah,
One. I like one.
I like the 40 car for Penn State. Not sure about 14, but he does complete this pass. And Corliss close to a first down.
There's a guy you got to get the ball to.
Yep.
You got to get it to number 10. Big tight end.
4th and a yard. What do you do? Come on, now, quick.
Oh, you go for it.
Okay.
Made the tackle.
No field goal.
Got to get to the 25-yard line for the first down.
Joe probably told the offensive staff, call something that's going to work.
How many of those plays are on that sheet that say 4th and 1?
Well, after you run them, there's a bunch of them, but before, you don't know which one to pick.
2 tight ends, Hahn the fullback, Kinlaw the tailback. Gets the call. He's hit hard. I tell you what, still fighting.
He made it.
They made it by about a foot. They're going to bring his forward progress back a little bit, I think, back closer to the 25-yard line, but they got it.
Well, that little spin move is what got it for him. If he doesn't spin, he doesn't get it.
First down.
Yeah.
So that one worked.
Joe says, okay, we'll keep that play for one more week.
They've had that one for the 42 years he's been head coach. I know that.
Here's the shot. Watch here now. Watch him spin when he gets here. Now the spin is what really gets him that extra yard.
Penn State trying to take advantage of the fumble. Morelli lofts one. Corliss. It'll be an interference call on Jamar Adams.
It's a good flag. It's a good throw. That time he had him, he saw he was going to have the tight end single coverage. There was a blitz, and he laid it up there. And Adams had to hold on to him to stop him.
You love the tight end, don't you?
I love the tight end. You got a good tight end, you got to use him.
This is only going to be the second accepted penalty of the game once they walk this off.
Pass interference, number 22, defense. Spot foul with automatic first down.
So the spot foul and the first down at the 9. It's going to be 1st and goal.
Here's your tight end. He's going to come down the middle of the field. Adams is number 22.
He grabbed him by the shirt.
You know, I don't know if there's such a thing as a good penalty, but that would have been a touchdown if he wouldn't have grabbed
Exactly. He was out there all by himself.
Penn State's got it. 1st and goal. The Wolverine 9. Kinlaw. Kinlaw, we mentioned, probably would be the guy to play the rest of the game after Austin Scott put it on the ground. We don't know that for sure because we've got a whole quarter to go, but he's the guy that's been in there the entire time on this drive.
Last week when Scott fumbled in the first quarter twice, he was out for 2 quarters.
Yeah.
And Joe put him back in the 4th quarter.
It's just it's a lack of concentration. It really is. I mean, you're trying to do something. You've got so many yards. Go ahead down, but protect the football.
2nd and goal. Derek Williams in motion. He has not had a catch today. Morelli back to throw. Across the middle and brought down is Derek Williams. There is his first catch of the day, but he doesn't get the touchdown. He does pick up 7 yards.
Bob mentions Corliss. They throw him 2 balls. You mentioned Williams. They throw him a ball. Next.
You want to pick somebody?
Okay.
It's 3rd and goal.
Okay. let me find out who's in there first.
How about the fullback? Is he in there?
Yeah, he's in there.
If Hahn's in there, he just went out in the flat and he was open.
Williams is going to come out of that huddle. As they break the huddle, it's
34.
Hahn and Kinlaw. 3rd down and goal. The toss to Kinlaw behind Hahn. Can't get there. Flags down. Adams knocks him out of bounds. And a penalty marker.
The referee threw the flag from behind the offense.
Got to be a holding call, then, isn't it?
Most likely.
And this would be a big blow.
They didn't make the touchdown.
It's holding. Now, the question is,
do you take him back
and give him another chance, or do you leave it at the 2-yard line, 4th down?
I think you got to take him back, huh?
No, refuse it.
This is interesting.
Little cat and mouse game. Everybody's holding their breath, kind of waiting for the call, just as we are.
Where would it be, on the 2-yard line?
They got it marked at the 2.
4th and 2.
They took the penalty.
Offense, 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Repeat, 3rd down.
So,
yeah, you got to do that, I think.
Comes back out to the 12.
Okay, you got 1 in a row now.
Now this really puts pressure on your defense, doesn't it? If we had stopped them, theoretically, they were going to kick a field goal. Maybe not.
You want me to pick a receiver? How about Norwood?
Well, yeah, I'd go for Norwood also.
Oh, he's in motion. Morelli fires the middle, incomplete. Was intended for Chris Bell and broken up.
Why do you throw a pattern to the 4-yard line to a guy that's covered? I mean, when you're setting up for the field goal, you're already in field goal range. You put the ball in the end zone.
I'll tell you why. Everybody else was covered, number 1, and the guys that were in the end zone were also covered, and so you got nobody else to throw the ball to.
Well, throw it away.
Kevin Kelly hit one earlier from 28. This is a 29-yard attempt. Again, same spot, almost identical. Snap was a little low, but the kick is up and good. So Penn State gets to within a point. 7-6. Got a pitcher's duel going here in Ann Arbor. You take another look at what Morelli was thinking about. Covered, covered, covered.
Who's
not
open?
so covered.
Nobody's open.
7-6 Wolverines.
You're watching Tailgate Week, presented by Kingsford.
Well, the tailgate ain't going on before the game. Some good-looking burgers there. We had a great crew that we were out there tailgating with, and we appreciate them being part of our college football Saturday here in Ann Arbor. We had a good time out there with the crowd. That was fun. And the crowd today, 111,310, and as I mentioned earlier, 204 straight times with over 100,000 people in here. There's the kickoff, and it's going to be fielded. Brandon Harrison took it at about the 2. Harrison, the nickelback, started last week, actually, 2 weeks ago in a nickel defense. He runs it back to about the 23-yard line. So 7-6. We've got 1 touchdown. That was Michigan's quarterback, Ryan Mallett, the freshman, from the 10-yard line. And that followed a fumble caused by Brandon Graham, recovered by Chris Graham on Anthony Morelli. And now just moments ago, A.J. Wallace with the fumble recovery of Ryan Mallett's helped lead to a 23-yard drive in 8 plays to get the field goal by Kelly of 29 yards. And that's where we're at, 7-6. Low scoring, hard hitting Big Ten opener for both teams. That's Arrington, the motion man. Play fake. Mallett. Oh, boy. he take a hit? Sean Lee and Josh Gaines.
He's a
and
tough
nothing
kid.
gained there, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he's a tough. He got a tough hit from two guys. I flashed back to just before the half when he threw the interception and he got up and made the tackle.
Right. Watch this collision. Talk about NASCAR at Dover. That's a monster yard loss, not a monster mile. End of the quarter. It's Michigan in front, but by a single point. Can they hang on to it and win their second in a row? Or will Penn State stay undefeated? We got 15 minutes to find out. Hang around. That's some of our gang out there on the other side of the stadium. 7-6 as we enter the fourth quarter. And a second down and 11 for the Michigan offense. Blitz coming. Mallett throws. Got a man wide open. Manningham had been shut out this half, and now he's down the sideline, and he's got a first down. There's a guy that they haven't used much so far today. It's been Arrington. They've tried to get the ball to the tight ends a little bit. Finally, he's a playmaker, and he makes one there.
Well, Lloyd had been on him a little bit earlier in the season, and he practiced well this week, and he wanted to play well, and he certainly has today.
This is a fourth quarter, big time here for both these teams, Paul.
I think that Penn State has to throw the ball. I really do, a lot more than they have, and obviously Michigan's going to run it.
They're going to run it with Mike Hart, as they have done through 4 years of his brilliant career. He's right now flanking Mallett, who's in the shotgun. Manningham again the other side. And tiptoes, almost got the first down. In fact, maybe he did. He's very close to it, right in front of the Michigan bench. So Mario Manningham, who had a huge game last year in the Penn State game, all of a sudden here back-to-back throws in the fourth quarter.
Someone ought to cover him. I mean, it's twice he's been out there. Nobody's been on him.
He did get a first down. And he'll get a breather now. Eric Campbell, the wide receiver coach, standing right there with him. There's been some good receivers come through Michigan. And a lot of backs as well. Maybe none any better than this one. Out of the 41 is Mike Hart. Matt Weiner's got an update for us in New York. Matt. All right, Matt. Mike Hart has gone over 100 yards rushing. And the end around they try this time. Manningham gives ground, gains ground, first down. Manningham, 3 of the last 4 plays, comes up big for the Wolverines.
If he's hot, feed it to him.
You know, guys, I was talking to Mike Hart this week, and he told me he thought Manningham was really stressed out of practice. Remember, he had a phenomenal freshman year, led the team in receiving, even though he missed 4 games last year with injuries. Only 1 touchdown this year, and Mike had a talk with him. He said, I know the pressure you're under. Manningham wants to help out. We obviously got a freshman here, a quarterback, but he said Manningham's level of focus was great this week in practice. He said, I think that he's finally got his mind right.
Well, he's got it right in this drive, that's for sure. There's Hart behind his fullback, but it's Mallett wanting to throw again, and the other way, incomplete, intended for Greg Matthews. So Mallett had hit his last 5 passes before that one got away from him a little bit.
Kind of get the feeling that this offensive line of Michigan is really starting to wear down Penn State's defensive line, especially when you see guys standing around with their hands on their hips trying to get a little bit of air. And I was down there for a half. There's no air down there. In fact, there were 2 really heavy-set guys next to me, took all the air that was in my area.
Well, why were you hanging around with them?
I couldn't move. They were yelling at me. Get out of the way.
Mike Hart's right up the middle. Very close to another first down if he doesn't have it. Sean Lee holding on. And now Mike Hart, 117 yards on the ground.
It's the offensive line holding hands.
There's no holding hands in football.
Where's Connor?
Well, Lee's there. That's close enough.
Yeah.
Mike Hart wanted to get 160 or 70. Did he tell Bonnie? He's getting closer.
His average is 167.
School record 23rd 100-plus game. And he breaks tackles again down to the 20.
Such a smart runner. He gets in the hole and he goes, and he knows that the momentum of some of these linebackers coming will run the guy back past him. Take a look at this. He's going to run to the left side as he does a lot of times. Now watch as he pauses and lets Connor just slide by him.
And he gives a little bit of, not really a stiff arm, but just a little thing to Josh Gaines, like, get your hand off me, and he got another 2 yards after that.
He has what all good running backs have, and that's good vision.
Hart, left side behind Long and company, down to about the 12. Watch Jake Long now. He's going to pick him up, tap him on the helmet. I bet you. There you go. Give him a little pat on the head every time.
Well, he has to pat down.
It's like a dog when you come home and they bring you the slippers or something, or the newspaper. You bam, bam. You give him a little on the head.
He's 5'9". Where else are you going to play?
But the thing about Hart, though, watch him. You cannot arm tackle this guy. When you put an arm out, you forget that. He runs through that part of it. That was Lee with an arm, and he's a pretty good linebacker. But you can't arm tackle this guy. And you're absolutely correct, Bob. He has tremendous vision.
Second down, short. Hart, this time wrapped up from behind. Ogbu's had a nice game from his defensive tackle position.
Yeah, Michigan's been here before and done this. The first half, they had the ball 16 plays and not scored, and had the ball 11 plays and had an interception.
There's the X Factor update. Hart with 131 yards on 32 carries. He carried it 35 times last week. And if Dan Connor's only got 8 tackles, it's a guy from Michigan that's counting them. There's the game so far this year. 100+ every time. Mallett looking right. Pressure from behind. Finds Matthews on a crossing pattern. 1st and goal, Michigan. Mallett hung in there, could feel the pressure coming, and he waited till his guy got open.
It was the same route. That was the same route over here that they hit the touchdown on last week, but they had it covered. So he hits the outlet. Matthews is the outlet coming across. He looks down deep into the right corner of the end zone. It's not there, then he comes off to the little delay, sliding across the field.
I wonder who touches the football here. 12th play of the drive, 1st and goal. Single setback is number 20. Mike Hart bulls his way to about the 4.
Mike Hart carried the ball.
You know, it's just amazing to me, and we watch it. We've watched the last 3 weeks with this guy Hart, and when he runs, that if you have an arm on him, it'll never be enough, because he fights your pressure. He gets by that, and you better hit his body with your body, or else he doesn't go down.
There's your out-of-whack stat. Mike has basically tripled what Penn State has allowed in 3 games on the ground. He's done himself. 2nd and goal. Hart again. Hit the backfield. Nice job defensively. Maurice Evans sliced in there.
Mike Hart stopped for no gain by
and now the play-action surprise is probably taken away. It's 3rd and goal.
Yeah.
Does he take oxygen or anything? I mean, does he ever get water?
Well, you know, right now, this is
he's a little tired.
This is right. They'd love to have him in there on this down, 3rd down, to have him maybe run a draw play or something with him.
Michigan 72 plays to only 49 for Penn State.
Wow.
But just having him in there makes you concentrate. Connor and the linebackers, they have to respect the fact that he's in the game.
Mallett for Arrington in the corner. Penalty markers down. Arrington has 5 catches on 3rd down today. They tried to go to him again.
This could go either way, Brad.
Sargent was the guy covering him.
Pass interference, number 10 of the defense. Interference occurred in the end zone. By rule, it'll be spotted at the 2-yard line, 1st and goal.
Michigan with another chance.
That is huge. This is a huge call.
Out comes number 20 again. And the flag on number 10 there, Lydell Sargent.
And the problem with Sargent is the receiver wasn't past him, so you can have your hands on him, but the ball was in the air, and then you can't have your hands on him.
Mike Hart, first and goal, maybe got a yard if he's lucky.
Was the ball carrier.
Josh Gaines again is going to come off the bottom of that pile.
The 1-yard line by Dan.
You know,
Dan Connor.
You just got to love to look at this offensive line. They love to block for the guy because they know that Hart is going to get him not that 2 or 3 yards that they block for, but that extra 3 or 4 on his own. So these guys up front, they really take pride. They're big, they're strong. They take pride in blocking for this guy.
Well, he's rushed it the same amount of times he rushed it last week, 35. He's got 32 career rushing touchdowns. It's second down and goal at the 1.
Heavy personnel, receivers out, tight ends are in.
Mike Hart, second effort, stretching out. Touchdown, number 33.
Or you think he didn't want it? Man.
Great surge and second effort and stretching goalward for Mike Hart's 33rd career touchdown.
Could he have a better name?
Nope.
Could he have a better name? Because that whole body is a heart.
Unless his last name was Guts, I can't think of anything.
Well, he is the heart and soul of this team. In
more ways than one.
Inspirational leader, everything.
Ginjal in for the point after. Kick is up and good. 33 yards of that drive were Mike Hart's on 9 carries. It covered 77 yards. 18 plays. 6.5 minutes later, it's number 20 to the end zone over Sean Lee and company. That's the Ann Arbor Golf and Outing Club. Small private clubs really just across the street from Michigan Stadium here. Offers 9 holes of golf. But on football Saturdays, it's open to the public for parking, $40. You can get about 2,000 cars in there. Passenger vans can be accommodated too. Morelli in trouble, trying to go to Derek Williams. Oh, big collision over there on the sideline by the first down marker. You know, they do that same thing at Augusta National. You park on there for $40 too.
That place is right across the street, though. That's prime parking.
It is prime parking. So Michigan Stadium with 111,000 plus on hand. And here's Penn State now trying to drive 80 yards for the touchdown and maybe the 2-point conversion to tie. And will this place get loud enough to make them have any trouble?
It really doesn't. It's not as loud as a lot of stadiums because the noise goes straight up.
Here's a draw play inside. And about a 6-yard gain for Rodney Kinlaw. We've been talking about some of the stadiums we go to. And Beaver Stadium, Nittany Lions know this. Knoxville is extremely loud. They're playing Rocky Top. They're growling down there. The Tigers growling. They're barking. The Husky Stadium, they're barking at you. The Orange Bowl, they're throwing things at you. And then there's here. See how flat it is?
Yeah.
And Grease says it just goes.
There's no upper deck. There's no upper deck, so the noise goes straight up and doesn't stay in. So the opposing quarterbacks is not that difficult to check off and get your signals heard.
Third down. They're trying right now. Morelli. Open man on a crossing pattern and a first down out near the 40. Derek Williams finally making a play. 14-yard pickup. He's their big play guy, but they just haven't been able to get it in his hands much today.
Brad, I was down on the field at the beginning of the game when they were moving up and down, and I had just earplugs in. They bought a headset to put on. I never had to put it on. You really don't hear all that noise. The only time I heard anything, I stood in front of that band.
Now they can get noisy.
Yeah. That's it.
This guy's trying to get his section involved. Penn State first down to the 39. 7:40 remaining in the game. There's Williams again. And Williams out to about the 47-yard line. Time permitting, reminder after the game, John Craig and Doug will be in New York to bring you the Dell post-game report. Derek Williams, Joe Paterno always tells him, let your ability provide the opportunity. And Williams says, you know, my whole philosophy is it's my job to make plays. But regardless of what the coach says, I can understand where the coaches are coming from, but I want to score every time I touch the ball, and it would be wrong for me to think any other way. But right now, they want to try to get it to him because maybe he can make something happen.
Yeah, that's for sure. If you can't go vertical, go across the field.
Draw play, big opening. On the run is Kinlaw. Down the sideline, Rodney Kinlaw. All the way down to the 17-yard line. Jamar Adams saved the touchdown.
Do you see what Kinlaw did? Smart runner. By the time he got to about the 35-yard line, he switched hands with the ball. Here comes the draw play. Watch this. The blocking is superb. Now watch when he gets to about the 35-yard line. See the ball in his right hand? Watch him move it. Now they can't get it. If they hit him, they knock the ball. The ball has to go out of bounds.
38-yard romp by Kinlaw. Biggest play of the day for Penn State. And now they're knocking on the door at the 15-yard line.
Arnberger with a big block.
Now they go straight up the middle with Evan Royster. And Royster only got about a yard. 6:51 remaining. Well, they're rich, they're ruthless, and they're related. You can't be filthy rich without getting a little dirty. Dirty, sexy, money. Starts Wednesday, the 26th at 10, only on ABC. Start here.
Money.
That sounds like it's got something for everybody.
I think so.
Money. Money.
And Bob is obviously with his boyish good look sexy, and that makes me the other guy.
Old dirt.
Old dirty.
Hey, dirt.
Penn State trying to get down and dirty at the 14-yard line of Michigan. Trying to score a touchdown for the first time today. Morelli knocked away from Corliss by Jamar Adams. They went for the big tight end, and Adams made a nice play.
Try to force it a little bit, and Corliss at least didn't get the ball and picked off.
Illinois a winner today over Indiana. Ohio State putting it on Northwestern. Michigan State leading Notre Dame. Wisconsin and Iowa 8 o'clock tonight Eastern time on ABC. Purdue and Minnesota get together at 9 in Minneapolis.
Mark D'Antonio doing a nice job over at Michigan State.
Sure is. Big third down, but it's probably 4-down territory for Penn State anyway. Morelli pressured, fires, and caught. No, knocked away. It was Corliss again, and Morgan Trent made that play. And now it's 4th down and everything for Penn State.
I don't know. He wouldn't have had a first down anyway, but Corliss, what he did is he waited on the ball. You've got to go up and get it. You can't, knowing that ball's floating out there, the defenders are right behind you. You've got to make some kind of effort to go after the ball and not wait for it to hit you in the stomach.
So out comes Kevin Kelly to try to make it a 14-9 game. 31-yard attempt. He's hit from 28 and 29.
And this is the right call. You're down 8 points. It's 4th and a long way. You got to kick the field goal.
Kelly, he's perfect today. So Kinlaw's long run leads to Kelly's 38-yard field goal. It's getting closer. Michigan's lead's been cut to 5 with 6 minutes and change remaining, and these games recently have always been close. And we got another close one. The last 3 have been decided by a total of 12 points.
Now has more career.
Penn State's lost, what, 8 in a row?
That they have.
To Michigan. They've lost 8 straight to Michigan.
Kelly, who just hit the 31-yard field goal to kick off. Deep into the shadows, about 2 yards deep, and slipping is Brandon Miner, so he's just going to take a knee there and bring it out to the 20-yard line. We take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Hasn't been a game that Anthony Morelli is going to probably forget too soon. A couple of turnovers, including that one. Chris Graham recovered it at the 10. That led to a Michigan touchdown. Dan Connor's been all over the field today. And Mike Hart, as always, is Mike Hart. 36 more carries, that touchdown. Only the 2nd touchdown of the day, and it's the one that's given them the lead. Now can they hold it for 6 minutes? And you got to think Mike Hart's going to touch it a few more times right here. Here he comes. There he goes. Hart, about 13 more the hard way. Let's get an update in New York. Here's Matt Weiner. That might be Matt's best pass of the day, over his head.
Yeah.
Hart stopped by Lee and Odrick in the backfield that time. Mike will get like 13 and then he'll get dropped for a 2-yard loss. He's kind of smiling about it. He knows how good that defense has been against him today. His rushing chart, as you might expect, the left side and the middle is where he's kind of making hay, including the touchdown.
19 over here for 93. Another 15 up the middle for 56. Not much over there to the right side.
Nope.
Yeah, why go over there? Is he a game changer, this guy?
He sure is. Seems like every game. Massey in motion. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and long, so Penn State's doing their job.
Well, the thing that Penn State does have offensively is they have big play guys that we've been talking about all day. They got Williams on the outside. They got Quarles on the inside. They've got Norwood and Deon Butler. So they've got 4 guys that can get down the field in a short period of time.
What Mallett wants to do right here, obviously he's got a 1st down, but he wants to use as much of that clock as he can. It's under 4.5 minutes.
Both teams have all 3 timeouts left.
Mallett on 3rd and long. Plenty of time. Running out of time. And now running out of the pocket. Throws. Got a man. Looks like it might be a 1st down. I think it is.
That is a backbreaker for Penn State.
Matthews with a catch. On 3rd and 11, they got 12.
Tom Bradley, the defensive coordinator, is probably pulling his hair out right there because he had a good series going. He got him to 3rd and long. The guy had to make a play, and he did. Stop it right there. Everybody's covered. Look over here. Those 2 guys are covered. He does a nice thing. He doesn't throw the ball up for grabs, but he picks it up, scrambles a little bit, and then somebody opens up.
And Matthews, for the 2nd time on 3rd down, has a 1st down catch. And now back to Mike Hart, and you keep looking at the clock now if you're a Penn State fan. 3:43. And Penn State just took one, a timeout, to stop it right there.
A huge play by the young kid.
There's longtime defensive coordinator Tom Bradley. A heck of a coach, and Bob said that if he had that cap and headset off, he would be scratching his head about that last play. Mike Hart across midfield. His 41st carry, a career high. Bob, let's take a look at your Best Buy playbook.
All right, let's go back and look at the touchdown earlier in the game. Got a little slot action, swinging down the sideline.
There we got the right play.
Look at that. These 2 guys, the 2 wide receivers going in there. Now watch Henney as he going to look into the end zone to see the 2 guys are covered. Doesn't throw and make a mistake. Pulls it down and has enough mobility just to get into the end zone.
Mallett, you meant, not
Mallett.
Henney.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Mike Hart, a career high day of carries. He's bending over at the waist. 41 times he's toted it already.
You know, we saw this Michigan game, or did the Michigan game against Oregon, and then you sit there and you look at they're holding Penn State to, so far, no touchdowns, 3 field goals. How good is that?
Brandon Minor trots off, hustles off as Mike Hart just kind of drags himself back into that backfield. 3rd down. Mallett, quick throw. Manningham's got it. Looked almost like the touchdown here 2 years ago, only not in the end zone, but it's just as big a play because it's a 1st down and the clock will continue to run.
And that is huge.
Brad, being down here and being able to watch Mallett all game, I've seen a couple things from him. First of all, his zip on the ball, the velocity is really off the charts. We've seen on this drive the type of poise he has, how he scrambled to hit Matthews on 3rd and 11. He is going to be such an emotional leader, whether it's a positive play and he's slapping guys on the helmets. When he gets into the huddle, all eyes are on him. He commands this team like he's been leading it for an awfully long time.
It's only been 2 weeks. He's doing a heck of a job. 43-yard line, 1st down. Now it's Mike Hart hitting the backfield again, but more importantly, the clock will continue to run until Penn State decides to stop it, and they have only 1 timeout remaining.
Couldn't get back to the line of scrimmage. The Lions were blitzing.
Penn State, that's their last timeout with 2:59. Well, we'll take it with them. 3 minutes to go. Michigan holding on for dear life here at home.
Now get big arms, a ripped chest, and cut out.
I don't think he's lost any fire at age 80. Dennis Lipsky, the referee, is going to feel like he just got sent to the principal's office. This is during the timeout, and Joe giving the officials an earful as only Joe can do. Meanwhile, it is 2nd down and long. 9th play of the drive. Mike Hart. And Mike's not getting much yardage now because they know that he's going to be the clock killer for Michigan.
Well, they picked up a couple of first downs, and Ryan Mallett, very impressive, picked up a 3rd down and 11 and a 3rd down and 10. Two big 3rd down conversions here on this drive. They put the ball in his hands, and he converted. I mean, he didn't make a mistake. It's a young freshman at the end of the ball game, and you put the ball in his hands.
And now Michigan's going to let the clock go all the way down as far as they can, and they'll take a timeout. Michigan works the clock down as far as they can. Michigan 5-point lead, 2:17 left.
Now get big arms, a ripped chest, and cut out.
Here's Mike Hart again, left side, and tripped up almost on his own. I think Mike is so dead tired right now that those legs just aren't moving like they were earlier in the ball game.
You know, Ness, it's not, you know, when you look at Mallett, what he's done, the big plays that Bob just talked about. But, you know, when you have him in there and he's getting more experience, it's only been 2 weeks now, but it gives Henny a chance to heal. And I'm not saying, okay, Henny's not going to play next week even if he's ready. That's not what I'm saying. But you still have a young guy now that is getting really valuable experience, and he's not screwing it up. He's doing a good job with it.
It's just going to make this Michigan team stronger as the year goes on.
Exactly.
Connor has played his heart out at linebacker today. And now Michigan takes its 2nd time out as they let the clock go all the way down to minute 34, and they're going to be punting the ball with a 4th and 11.
He's talking to a.
Let's check in with Matt Weiner.
Zoltan Mesko to punt for Michigan. Deep for Penn State.
How bad did Syracuse need a win like that?
Oh, yeah. Penn State special teams are the best in the Big Ten.
They're going to need them. And did they hit the punter? I guess not. No flag down. So now Penn State's out of timeouts with 1:28 remaining. And they've got to go the length of the field. And they need a touchdown to win.
Well, we've had a lot of excitement in this series the last few years. And they're certainly capable of playing pitch and catch on a long touchdown.
About the only thing Michigan accomplished on that last series, guys, is that they ran 10 plays and they ran 4.5 minutes off the clock. Now they got to play defense.
And they took away all of Penn State's times out.
Exactly.
Don't be afraid to throw the ball in the middle of the field, because once you go 10 yards, the clock stops.
Well, he can't throw it any place that time because Brandon Graham was breathing down his neck. And he has to throw it away. So it's 2nd down and 10. Don't forget tonight, a lot of you'll see USC, the #1 team in the country, against Washington State. A lot of folks in the Midwest will be watching Iowa at Wisconsin. It's all tonight. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines. Penn State trying to win 2 in a row. Michigan trying to win 2 in a row. Penn State trying to go to 4-0, but they got a long way to go with no timeouts. 2nd and 10. Morelli pressured, has to throw it away from the end zone. He's almost lucky that wasn't called a safety back there if he would have had guys trying to block.
Yeah, he's dropping back 5 and 7 steps, expecting some good protection. I think what they ought to do is run some quicker routes, 3-step drops, run some slants, and try to get it to one of your speedy receivers and get him down the field.
Morelli's missed his last 5 throws. He's only got 2 chances left.
Joe's an old quarterback. At Brown, he played defensive back and quarterback. He's probably telling him what to run.
Morelli, play fake. Nobody bid on that. Down the middle, incomplete. Penn State's got 1 play left. They need a miracle now.
Covering for Michigan. 4th down.
For those of you that have been watching Ohio State, we welcome you to Michigan Stadium, one of your hated places and one of the teams you don't like if you're an Ohio State fan. But right now Michigan is on the verge of upsetting Penn State. Penn State's got one hope left. They're out of timeouts. They're at their own 13-yard line. And they trail by 5. And Anthony Morelli has not been very sharp this entire game.
All you need is a first down. You don't need a touchdown.
4 wideouts. Morelli has time. Going deep. He's got a man, and it's broken up. Morgan Trent and Jamar Adams just saved the day. Michigan will win it in another minute and 6 seconds. And oh boy, what a difference 2 weeks makes, huh?
I was just thinking about that. We were here 2 weeks ago after the Oregon loss.
And now it's going to be back-to-back wins over Notre Dame. And in a couple of carries or a couple of knees, 10th-ranked Penn State.
And I love everything that Michigan did today. I mean, with their quarterback, with their running back. At the beginning of this game, I said, you know, can Hart run against this Penn State defense? He did that.
Mallett will take a knee. As we go back to the last chance Penn State had on a 4th and 10, and as Bob said, they didn't need a touchdown, just a first down.
Nobody's open. No white shirts are open. I like the fact that Morelli got out of the pocket, bought some extra time, and now he's saying, somebody get open.
And there's the guy that made the play. Last 2 times Michigan started 0-2. One of those times, or both of those times, they won the Big Ten title. That's what this is about. This is a Big Ten opener. They can put Appalachian State and Oregon in the rearview mirror because they're going to beat Notre Dame and Penn State back-to-back weeks. And now they've got their first conference win. The headline tomorrow in the Ann Arbor News, what would it look like when you get your Sunday paper? It might say Wolver 9. 9 straight over the Nittany Lions. And there's some happy Wolverines on the field right now. Michigan 14, Penn State 9. And Penn State falls from the ranks of the undefeated. It's all over.